everybody, what's going on? So, if you're watching now or after the fact, I thank you and welcome to my stream of my top 20 worst films of the year, 2023, and also my top 20 films that were my favorite of the year. And I will be doing a little bit of like just talking about those and then also talking about just like updates on my channel and just kind of things going on and where my content has been. Like, I know it's been kind of wacky with my content. So I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. I have not done a live stream in quite a while. I want to say it's been at least 8, 9 months. So I'm going to try to get back into live streams again. And I want to get other people that I have not actually had on the channel. So I'm looking forward to getting back into doing that again because I did enjoy doing that and having other YouTubers on the channel and just, talking with them and like their YouTube journey. And then I like those hangouts where people just come in and we just chat and hang out and it's a safe space and all that. So I really do enjoy all that. So I guess I will just go ahead and kick it off and start with the fact that you guys have probably noticed that I changed my name from RWR Movie Reviews to Ravens O's Fan 89. So let me just explain that. So, RWR Movie Reviews stands for Reviews with Ryan and then Movie Reviews. So, it's kind of a double whammy as to how that name actually is. I actually am not really that happy with that name. So, I went ahead and changed it to Ravens O's Fans 89 for now because I eventually want to have another name for the channel and I'm just not sure what I want to do because I don't want to limit it to just like reviews. I want to do other videos too, like vlogs. I still want to do like physical media. I want to do shorts. I kind of want to do a variety of things. And one thing I eventually want to get into is like interviewing people from like maybe the industry or something like that. I also am really passionate about music too, so maybe I could have like maybe a band on here and interview them. I've always been very interested in interviewing like bands and such like that because I used to be a promoter and all that. So I'm very interested to do that as well. So eventually I do want to do that as well. And as far as like kind of how like my content has been, and I definitely want to explain that because I know it's been really all over the place. I just did my first review, like single review in like a couple months. So I'll go ahead and start that off. So honestly, with you guys, a couple months ago with my job that I'm at currently, it's only a couple of us and I'm in the trucking industry and I had a person quit. So it's really only me and one other person. And because like the shifts have changed around, a lot of times I'm there by myself and the days have been kind of stressful. And to be honest with you, especially through the holidays, honestly, I just didn't feel like coming home and just doing reviews. Like I was still watching movies, but I just didn't want to take the time to like edit and all that stuff. And to be honest with you, like as far as like how like stuff in my life is kind of like affected like YouTube and everything like that, I think with those kind of negative kind of things, that really kind of made me feel kind of down as to like with YouTube. And I honestly was honestly thinking about quitting, to be honest with you, because it was one of those things where I was just feeling really down and out and I really didn't know, if I really wanted to continue. Like I also felt like I was lacking confidence in like my reviews, and I don't want to feel that way because I feel like I do get, a lot of support, which I'm very thankful for. And I think also too, like the subscriber count really was like getting to me, which I really shouldn't let that get to me because we're just here to have fun and everything, and just talk about movies. And I have fun talking to other creators about movies and everything like that, and networking with you all. So that, and then the other thing, and this is a very personal thing I'm going to share because I'm really real with you guys 100% of the time. But me and my wife, for a while and years now, we were trying to have a baby. And to be honest with you, like everything's checked out fine. Like I'm good. And the biggest thing is like all the different like procedures and stuff we've tried, it just never worked. And I think that too had a big effect on me because, you're wanting to make your significant other happy, and you can't do so. So it really weighed a whole like ton of stuff on me because like this was all kind of going on with when the transitioning of when the other person at my job was quitting. So like having all that, and then like this channel, and then as I crank out like a lot of videos. Like I was doing that for a while, and I think I just got like kind of burned out in a way. So I just wanted to explain all that. Um, I just wanted to be real about it. Moving forward, I want to have more of a positive attitude, and I want to, feel like I'm confident in my reviews. And, I'm thankful for all the support that you guys have given me. So I just wanted to clear that out of the way. And hopefully I'll have like maybe like another intro at some point. Because I don't want to use the old intro that I have right now. I'm just gonna kind of strip it down, like my reviews at the moment. And eventually I want to have another name. I'm just not sure what I want to do for the future with that name, but I still want to pump out content now. And my plan is to do as many reviews as I can, and throw in some different content in there as well. So that's my plan, and I just wanted to get that out of the way before we talk about movies. And before we get into my worst and my best, I'm going to go ahead and look at some of the comments, see who's in here. So we got Emlo saying cool. I got Hardcore Review saying peak YouTube incoming for real. Thanks, Hardcore. We got another legend in here saying that I'm a legend. The legend is live. What's up, Mike? We got Dave saying, hey, bud, what's up? What's going on, Dave? We got Anthony coming here. Hey, what's up? What's going on, Anthony? And did you do that? Saying everything in the chat. And then Ryan, looking forward to see what you have installed for the channel. I'm actually going to answer your question too towards the end of the stream, just to let you know, because you were the one that had the one and only question, so I didn't forget about that. Drew saying, hey everyone, what's up? What's going on, Drew? Dave saying, editing my review for Night Swim. I'm interested to hear what you think about that. Abigail saying, don't give up, you got this, dude. Thanks, Abigail. I appreciate that. I am not planning to give up, so I appreciate that. Kenny saying, hey, what's going on, Kenny? And Abigail saying, you're awesome. Thank you so much. You're awesome for being in here. And then Kenny saying, hey, Dave. So everybody else saying, hey. So we'll go ahead and get into the breakdown of movies. So I have my letterbox out here, my phone. We'll just do it that way. So last year, I saw a total of 172 movies, which was actually more than I saw the year before. So prior, I saw 166. So 172. Now, not all those are theater. Some of them are streaming. Some of them are screeners that I got. So it's a mixed bag. So giving you guys the breakdown here. So I do 3 lists on my letterbox. And on my letterbox, I have the worst films, which I have 45 films that were ranked as bad, negative for me. So those ratings, just so you know, is from half star to 1.5. So if they got that rating, they fell into the worst film category. Then I have a meh, okay film rating, which is a 2 or a 2.5. Those I had 66 films from last year that fell into that category. And then my final category is the best films, obviously. And I had 61 films that were in that category. So that is 3 stars to 5 stars. So that's just the breakdown that I have. That's what I use. Everybody does everything differently, letter grades, whatever you do, that's great. This is just how I do them and how I feel the ranking is fair. I feel like with these categories, I feel like, it was a pretty decent year. I mean, like we had from this, there's not too many bad films from, 45 bad films out of 172. I mean, that's pretty good, I think. So I think we had a pretty decent year. So I will go ahead and get into my worst films. Let me take a drink. All right, so worst films, we have 45 films. I'll go ahead and tell you guys my dishonorable mentions, and then we'll count down to 20. And I may talk a little bit about them. I'm not planning to make this like a 3-4 hour stream on just this stuff. I feel like I want to consume your time decently, and I want to actually talk to you guys too, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll go with dishonorable mentions. So the first dishonorable mention. I originally rated this film a 2.5, and I recently rewatched it. Did not like it. That was Consecration. Now that is a Shudder film. I saw that in theaters in February. It was not very good. So that one is a dishonorable mention. I also have Bottoms. A lot of people really liked Bottoms. I did not like that film. I have Slaughterhouse, Mary Had a Little Lamb, 80 for Brady, Hypnotic, and let's see, Ant-Man Quantumanium. Hated that film. The Last Voyage of Demeter. Did not like that film. Spinning Gold. Maybe I Do. Ruby Gilman. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's been on a lot of bad lists. So I definitely expect that on everybody's list. Good Burger 2. It's been 4 balls. So those are all the movies that are on my worst list as far as like this honorable list. Now we'll go ahead and count down from 20 to 1, and I will review some of your guys' comments real quick. Alrighty. Anthony says, thanks for sharing this, man. All good things will happen in time. You rock. I appreciate it, Anthony. Indeed is awesome. Kenny says, wow, that's way more than me. I saw 67. Well, I have my ways of, I guess, finding time. I know it's really hard to see a lot of movies. To be honest with you, Kenny, I double up a lot of times. So sometimes I'll like literally go straight from work. Like I literally get off at 4 o'clock and I'll catch like the 4:15, 4:30 showing because like the theater is like right down the street from my work. So I literally will catch like that first movie and then I'll usually double up. So that's how I see a lot. And then a lot of times I'll just create a day where I'll see like 2 or 3 films at once and just do it that way. It just like I know it's really tough. Like sometimes it's hard to like manage out all your time and everything like that. But I find a way. Mike says Ryan deserves a lot of love and support. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. 60 plus good films for a year. Some have said it is a down year. Folks have to expand their movie watching. Yeah, I mean, it really just depends. I mean, there were big movies, honestly, that I did not watch this year that were on a lot of people's lists. Like, I could tell you straight up that Spider-Man is not on my list. John McFour is not on my list. Transformers, movies like that, I didn't watch. It wasn't, you know, in my interest. Like I have a little bit different interests, I think, from some other people. So I just wasn't interested in those. Jason saying, hey, Ryan, what's going on, Jason? Dave says, I honestly don't know how many I saw last year. Dude, you should get Letterbox, man. I'm telling you, like it's free. I use the free version. I mean, you could pay for it if you wanted to, but use the free version, man, and you can keep track and do lists and everything. And that's how I do it. Kenny saying, I wanted to see Slaughterhouse because it looked like the entertaining type of terrible. Yeah, that one, I don't know, man. Like, I got a screener for that one, and I just did not really care too much for it, to be honest with you. I think some of the like actors in it was kind of annoying me in some of the parts, so I didn't really enjoy it that much. Abigail says, what is your Letterbox account name? So it's Reviews with Ryan, and you can just kind of smush it all together. There's no spaces or anything like that. And then Dave saying Blood and Honey 2 comes out my way on my birthday. Terrible gift. Yeah, I'm going to end up checking that out, to be honest with you, Dave, because honestly, February is not a month where there's a lot coming out. I think on my list for February, I think I only have like 3 theater movies. So, and that was one of them. There's just not a lot that I'm looking forward to checking out. And if there's any movies that I miss or just, I'm not really that much interested in, I may check out later. Jason says, I stayed far away from Blood and Honey. Ruby Gilman was terrible. Yeah, I know, Jason, you're not much into the horror aspect, but Blood and Honey, dude, like, real bad, man. Ruby Gilman was terrible. Yes, Ruby Gilman was really bad, dude. I saw that in a theater with my wife, and my wife is, like, so much, I would say, like, what's the word? she's so much more gosh, can't think of the word, like more like accepting of certain things in movies. And even she said to me that movie was bad. So if she says that to me, dude, and she's not one to really watch a ton of movies, you know it's bad. And Kenny says definitely get Letterbox. Let me click on that. February is pretty dry. Yeah, it's pretty dry. There's like I said, there's only a couple films I want to see. There's a few other ones that I know people are going to see, like Bob Marley, which I'm not really interested in Bob Marley that much. I didn't really grow up with his music or anything like that, so I don't think I'll probably watch that. Another one that I know a lot of people are going to watch that I don't care to see is that Argyle movie. I know a lot of people want to watch that, but not really interested in that one. And then there's 3 or 4 movies in February, but none of them look like slam dunks. Yeah, I don't even know if Madam Web will do that well. That it doesn't seem like that really has a lot of buzz, to be honest with you. All right, so we'll get into my worst or top 20 worst films of the year. So we'll start off with The Haunting of Venice. Now, this movie, oh my gosh. So I did a short for this when I came out of the theater. So I've seen Murder on the Orient Express, and I don't remember that one that much. But then I saw Death of the Nile, or Death on the Nile, and the first time I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, like the green screen and all that stuff is bad. And I recently did a rewatch of that last year, hated it. But this new one with Haunting of Venice, man, it was a bad movie. It was advertised as a horror movie, but it really wasn't much of a horror movie. Like, honestly, like a lot of the main characters that were in it weren't even in it for that long. And, to me, it was really boring. I was really bored in the theater. I honestly think that might have been like, even if these other movies on this list are bad movies, I think I was the most bored watching this movie in a theater all year long. It was just one of those movies where I really couldn't get into it. And I think I remember somebody in the theater snoring, if I remember. So, I didn't feel like I was the only one when watching that movie. And, I don't think if they make a fourth one that I will be even bothering to check those out, because I've gone, 3 for 3, 3 strikes you're out, I say. And I will not be, revisiting that film. I have no interest. And honestly, like I said, if they make another one, I'm going to skip it. So we got number 19. That is Old Dads. This was a Netflix film. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't watch a lot of stuff on Netflix. Recently, my wife, she got Netflix. Honestly, I really don't have a lot of streaming services. I honestly don't pay for any of them. I have so many movies that I can watch at my leisure with my own physical collection and, the theater. So honestly, like streaming services, like I think I have Max because it's like free with AT&T, and I have Netflix because my wife pays for it. I think Disney Plus right now, like I think I'm borrowing somebody's, and Hulu as well. Like, but honestly, I don't really watch them that much, and I don't pay for those. So honestly, like I just don't use streaming service that often. But I went ahead and checked out Old Dads because a few people were checking that out. And honestly, this movie was just so bad. Like, it was made by, was it Bill Burr? Bill Burr made this, and I guess he's a comedian. I don't know who he is, to be honest with you. And this movie, I mean, the plot was just so bad. Like, the guy was so obnoxious, a horrible parent, a lot of cussing, and a lot of like just stupid language and dialogue in this movie. And I think I gave it a 1. Yeah, I gave it a 1 out of 5. And it's just, I mean, it was a stinker movie, man. There's no way I could recommend that movie. And I believe, Dave, you did enjoy Old Dads. I remember that. So it's interesting sometimes that people's opinions differ. I just did not like this movie. Now, number 18. Now, this movie, I know that Mike did not like this movie. And a few other people I know did not like this movie as well. But this is a Shudder movie, and that is Bad Things. Now, I think this has an appropriate title with it. This was supposed to be like they were advertising it as like The Shining, and it took place in a hotel. And honestly, I mean, I felt like not a lot of stuff was happening in this movie. I felt a lot of times where there's a lot of bickering between the girl characters, and it was just very nonsensical kind of movie. And I just felt like, it really tried to use the hotel setting that it had, and like, it had like the snow and everything, and obviously was trying to go for that shining vibe, but like it never got to there. It was a terrible movie, and it's definitely something that I'm not going to revisit. And then we have number 17. We have a movie that a lot of people probably have not seen, and that is God is a Bullet. Now, I had no idea this movie was coming out until I went to my local Regal theater, and I just doubled up one night and I was like, I will go see this. Jamie Foxx was in it. And man, this movie was so freaking long for what the subject matter was. So it was a 2.5 hour movie. And to be honest, the movie, I mean, the gang was like just doing things that I was just like, what the hell are these people doing? So like the gang was very like mistreating towards women. Like women in this movie, I mean, they got like beat up really bad. And the gang themselves and just like the characters in general, there wasn't a lot of people to really latch on to. They try to do this love story with this detective and his or the one of the girls from the gang members, and it just didn't work. And the movie, like towards the end of the movie, I remember there was a part where the guy got caught up on fire and he got beat with like 15 baseball bats or something like that. And I was just like, is this guy like a John Wick or something? Like I don't even know. And I just think totally this film, it tried to go in places where it was, talking about these gangs and just other things that like I don't know, like it was a film that really was kind of all over the place tonally. And I just felt like it was a film where it was way too long for what the subject matter was. Like you didn't learn a lot about this gang. Like they were all like atheists and stuff like that, and they had like the symbolism and everything like that. And they just never really dove into them. And I mean, the movie was 2.5 hours. Like you had plenty of time to develop all that, and they never developed that gang at all. And I was just really shocked by the mistreatment of women and how they get beat up here. It was very shocking to me for that smaller movie. And Jimmy Fox, he's in it for like 10 minutes. So like they tried to advertise him as part of this gang, and honestly, like he's barely in the movie. So not a good movie. And then we're at number 15. We have Paint. Now, Paint is with Owen Wilson, and I would assume that it's trying to go more so in the Bob Ross direction. To be honest with you, I don't remember a lot about what happened in this movie, to be honest with you. I felt like it just kind of went, over the head, really. And I remember like the comedy that was in this, it didn't work for me. I remember that. I also remember that I didn't feel like I ever latched on to Owen Wilson's character at all. And that's really all I have to say about that movie. Not much to really say, really. At number 15, I feel like every year when I'm doing a worst list, this dude is on the list. But we have a Liam Neeson movie, and that is Marlowe. Now, Marlowe, this was a different film, I guess you could say, for Liam Neeson, but this was more so like a slower movie, like trying to go into like the noir type thing. And I mean, this thing was really slow. I was very bored to watch this movie. It had Diane Kruger in it. I remember she was pretty good. And let's see, it was basically just like they hired him to be a detective to track down the former lover of this woman. See, I'm already forgetting this because this movie came out back in February, so I already kind of forgot it, to be honest with you. And honestly, like this one, like I appreciate that like Liam Neeson was trying to do something different, but honestly, like it was pretty bad. We'll go to the comments here for a minute. Let's see. Kenny's saying I'm excited for Bob Marley. I'm 50-50 on Argyle. I'm going to see Madam Web. I don't have high expectations. Yeah, I agree on that. Jason says, totally agree. Old Dad's on my worst list. The script was a mess. got old really quick, or jokes got old really quick. Yeah, I definitely agree. I remember, Dave, you enjoyed Old Dads, and you like Bill Burr. Yeah, so you have like a connection to him. He says, I will see Argyle and Lisa Frankenstein and the new Walking Dead spin-off show. That is my February. So I will watch your reviews on Argyle and Lisa Frankenstein because I'm not interested in either of them. Maybe I'll check them out later, but yeah, I don't know about that. Mike says, I'm glad I avoided Old Dads. You, Jason Illett, have put me off to it. Yeah. Let's see. Jason says, I forgot that most of these movies even came out this year. Yeah, I know. Like, we watch so many movies, and especially myself. And to be honest with you, these 172 movies, like, this does not include everything that I watch on top of that, like in my personal collection. Like, to be honest, I think this past year, I think I watched, and now we're on a new year, so it's only calculating what I had, but I think I watched around 400 movies, honestly. And that's because, like, a lot of times I come home from work and I'll just watch a couple movies, right before I go to bed or something like that, from the collection. So, that this is just really a small sample size if you think about it. So, yeah, sometimes I forget some of the stuff that I watch, but honest with you. Kenny says, what is Liam Neeson's last good movie? So, I'm trying to think of something really good that he's made. Uh, there's a couple movies that I have in my collection that I like of his. There's a movie called Unknown. I like that one. I think that was from 2011, if I'm not mistaken. He has another one called Run All Night. I think that's what it's called. That was pretty good. I have a few others in my collection of his. But yeah, like he's made some stinkers, like Retribution. That was another bad one this year. Let's see. I think Walk Among the Tombs is his last good movie. That one wasn't too bad, actually. That one wasn't too bad at all. I haven't watched that one in a while. Alrighty, so we are on number 14. And then Jason says The Commuter was okay. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I feel like he's done every mode of transportation, Jason. Every mode of this, because he's done train, he's done a plane. I think the only thing he hasn't done is like a submarine. Can you imagine if he had like a submarine? What would it be called? Like Under the Sea or Submarine or something? I don't know. I'm sure they could do something like that with him. They would. All right. So we'll go into number 14. Number 14 was The Hill. Now, this was a Christian film, and this was supposed to be about a baseball player that was up and coming. And I didn't know who this guy was, to be honest with you. I'd never heard of him. By the end of the film, they explained that, he wasn't actually into like the major league, so that makes sense why I've never heard of him. So like baseball is like totally different from other sports. Like you have to go through so many different what they call farm systems before you get into the big leagues, and it's much tougher. So that's why I don't know who he is. But in this movie, you had Dennis Quaid, I remember, and he was a pastor, and he did a few things to piss off the people in his region, and because of that, they pretty much got ousted, and they also didn't have a lot of money. And the movie was very preachy, but the other thing is Dennis Quaid, I thought, was a complete asshole. And we honestly are supposed to go through this movie liking, we're forgiving this dude and just, catching on to his character to have sympathy for him by the end of this movie. And I just never did. I thought the movie spent way too much time on the preachiness part. And I felt like the baseball action was just really just not there. A lot of times it will show like him kind of jumping from like I think he was like 9 and then like up to like 18, and then he also had some problems as well. Like I can't remember what it was. I think he had like some muscle issues or something. I can't remember, but honestly, to be honest, it wasn't a film that to me where I really felt like I learned a lot about Ricky Hill, like throughout. It was just a lot of a lot of times like showing like the family dynamic and like their tragedies and stuff. So I didn't like that movie. And then I got a screener for this movie that probably a lot of you have never heard of before, but it was called Giving Birth to a Butterfly. I got a screener for this movie, and I'm glad that this movie was only 77 minutes because I honestly could not tell you like too much about this movie. What I can say is, so the plot of this movie was after having her identity stolen, a woman and her son's pregnant girlfriend band together on a surreal journey as they attempt to track down the perpetrators. Now, that's what the synopsis says, but a lot of this movie, it was focusing on this family and it was talking about like goals, dreams, and tragedies and all that kind of stuff. And then it goes into where they're trying to track down, obviously, the perpetrators. But it just didn't really develop a lot. And I felt like the story was very incomplete. Like, I felt like there were messages in there where it really, it definitely had that good messaging. But at the same time, as a story, I think it really failed. And honestly, I failed to remember of many stuff about the movie. I just remember watching and I was like, are we going to get much more development in this? And, it never did. And then we're into number 12. Now, number 12, I know that Jason liked this movie. I did not, but that is Ghosted. That was with Anna de Armas, and I believe it was Chris Evans. That's right. Yeah, and this one just very generic. They kept talking about like this tax man in there, and they kept saying all that. The whole story, like just certain scenes in there, it didn't make sense to me. I felt like a lot of the comedy for me just didn't really land. Anna de Armas, like I feel bad in her for her in a way because like she's honestly been in a lot of bad movies lately. With Blonde, I think the next movie she's going to be in is Ballerina, so maybe that'll be good. But she hasn't been anything lately that I really like. So that was my number 12. All right, so number 11, we are going to, let's see. So number 11 was Fear. I remember watching this at the theater. I think I was one of the only ones. And I remember with this one, like they were trying to say like there was like a virus, I believe is what it was. Yeah, a group of friends gather for a much needed weekend getaway at a remote and historic hotel. Celebration turns into terror as one by one each guest faces their own worst fear. Yeah, so that's what this movie essentially was about. Like there's like this, obviously like they try to relate to like the coronavirus and all that. But honestly, like I don't know, like I felt like a lot of the characters in here, they were really stupid. There was definitely dialogue that was really dumb, and it all took place in the cabin. Obviously, I just felt overall like the movie. It was really messy, and the director, I believe, I don't like any. Let's see, he's done The Intruder. He's done some decent movies. The Intruder, which was decent. He did Black and Blue, which wasn't too bad. He did Fatale, which some people didn't like. He did Chain Letter. So he's done some smaller movies, but I don't know. This one, it just wasn't. It wasn't it. It was not good. Interesting enough too. Like when it came out to physical media, they only did a DVD. I never even saw it in the store. So definitely a movie that they just kind of dumped in the theaters. All right, now we'll get into my top 10. And the first one is a Shudder movie. It's called Kids versus Aliens. This movie, oh my gosh, was this movie so bad. So the children in this movie were completely obnoxious. I remember some of the effects weren't too bad in it. I just remember like a lot of the kids getting on my nerves in the movie, and I remember that obviously it had like a sci-fi type approach to it, and it wasn't a long movie. It was only 75 minutes, but I wasn't bored in it or anything. I just felt like overly like the dialogue. Like I said, I think there was a lot of like obscenity in this movie, like obscene stuff, and I felt like the aliens just looked like a bunch of people in rubber suits, and it just wasn't done very well. It definitely was a movie that really annoyed me, and definitely a movie I'll never watch again. Then we're at number 9, and we have another Shutter film. And I did like a walk and talk, like kind of review for this. And this one was all over the place, but it's called Perpetrator. Now, Perpetrator was kind of all over the place. So you have this teen. She's sent to live with her aunt, and I think yeah, Alicia Silverstone in it, which she was probably the best part about the movie, to be honest with you. But on the event of her 18th birthday, she experiences a radical metamorphosis, a family spell that redefines her, calling her for evening. When several teen girls go missing at her new school, a mythical feral Johnny goes after the perpetrator. Yeah, so this film had a lot of stuff going on, to be honest with you. Um, there was a lot of weird scenes, especially with the main character. Like she would have these like dreams, and like she would just like bleed out profusely, like on her period. And then like they had this killer that was on the loose, and it turned out to be the principal. They had a lot of weird scenes in it, and you could tell like it was trying to go like the artsy route. I honestly just didn't really connect with every little thing in it. I think that maybe some other people may have, but it didn't seem like it was getting really good reviews, and it just wasn't a good film, unfortunately. Let me get in the comments. Let's see. Jason says the commuter was okay. Yeah, it was okay. Um, Kenny says unknown and Run All Night were both good. Yeah, I definitely think that both of them were good. I like to see Neeson and Scream. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine how that would go. He actually wasn't a horror film. What was it called? I think it was called A Haunting or something. I forget what it was called, but it wasn't a good movie. He was in that. He was in a submarine movie with Harrison Ford in the early 2000s. There you go. See, he's done it all, man. I knew you were about to say Ghosted. Yeah, it was number 5 on my list. I thought it was a fun action movie. Yeah, I remember you said you really loved it. That's fine. All right, I'm rather looking forward to Ballerina with Anna Dormus. There is a Korean film with the same name and same kind of tone on Netflix I need to check out. Okay. Sounds good. Got my cat in the background. Brian saying, hey, what's up, Brian? Cinematic, you watching at work. Hey, dude, I appreciate that. My top 10 movies 2023 Jesus Revolution, John Wick. Nice. Very nice. I did not see John Wick, so that will not be on my list. I can tell you that. All right. And we're continuing. I have down to my last 8, and these last 8, they really, really annoyed me. I definitely will say that. So the first one is Nefarious. Now, Nefarious, I did not watch a trailer going into this movie. And I'll tell you this right now. Like, I never get very annoyed with like too much politics and stuff. But this movie, like, it had a lot of politics in it. Um, you had this guy that was getting executed, and he's obviously a serial killer. And this psychiatrist goes in to evaluate him, and there is a lot of just sitting with these two characters in this like jail cell, or I mean just jail cell. It's like just a room rather, and he's just evaluating him. And there's a lot of talk about just a lot of political stuff like abortion and um, just a lot of different things that personally like really kind of fooled me in the movie, because like the poster, if you see the poster online, it honestly looks like it's a full-fledged horror movie. And that was actually my best video this year, believe it or not. I'll tell you one thing, and probably moving forward, I probably won't do a lot of religious stuff on the channel, like religious movies, because to be honest with you, like I'm not the most religious person. So when I did that review, I definitely pissed off a lot of people, which, I shouldn't let that get to me. But honestly, like, I didn't like the fact that it was like so much in like a negative like headspace with that movie, because I feel like people didn't watch the review. They just like heard bits and pieces of the review and was just like, oh, well, like, he hates like religion and all this other stuff. And it's like, it wasn't that at all. It's just that movie, it felt to me like it was really kind of false advertisement. But again, I didn't watch a trailer, and I don't like that they classified it as a horror movie. Sometimes, like when they classify these movies, you go on IMDb and you don't look up a trailer or anything, and then like it tells you like it's comedy or it's horror, and then it's not that genre. It's like, you should be able to classify a movie in the genre that it actually is. And this was not a horror movie to me, but there are a lot of religious people online that that really were offended, apparently, by my opinion. So I don't know. I don't think my review was that bad, but apparently it was to them, and they were not too happy about it. So Nefarious is number 8. Number 7, I did not do a review on my channel for, but I watched it back over the summer. That was Love Again. This movie was very awful. This movie, I felt like they were just promoting Celine Dion, because Celine Dion, I mean, at this point, I don't know if she's still a relevant singer or not. I don't follow her, but this movie, it was dealing. They had this woman that was dealing with the loss of her fiance, and she starts like texting to this phone, and it ends up in somebody else's hands, and they start texting back and forth, and they end up falling in love. And just the plot, dude, like honestly, like the plot was just, I mean, it was all over the place. I believe Nick Jonas was in this. Yes, he was in that as well. And I don't know, this movie, it was very silly to me. I can appreciate a rom com or a romantic kind of movie. Like recently, I watched Anyone But You, and I didn't mind that. But like Love Again, no. Most of the reviews I've seen for this are horrible, and really nobody that I know have really reviewed this movie. So yeah, that's my number 7. We get into the final 6. Number 6, and honestly, all these movies are pretty much like from the beginning of the year. So keep in mind, I've only watched these once. So number 6 is going to be The Devil Conspiracy. Now, I remember seeing the trailer for this, and I was just like, yeah, this is low budget. It's probably not going to be good. And I remember watching this movie in the theater, and man, this movie, it was so freaking dark. Like you couldn't see like pretty much anything, I feel like, in the theater. I didn't like the way it was filmed. It was very much so like the plot of it is a powerful biotech company has a breakthrough technology allowing them to clone history's most influential people, just a few fragments of DNA. And then behind this company is a cabal of Satanists that steal the shroud of Christ, putting them in the possession of Jesus' DNA. Yeah, I just remember this movie just being really off the wall. And the biggest thing, like I said, is like I couldn't see like a lot of stuff in the movie because it was filmed so dark. Very out there movie. And again, this is a movie that like I feel like nobody really watched. And also for physical media, it only got a DVD, so that's usually pretty bad. And they didn't even give a movie a Blu-ray. Then we'll get into my top 5. So my number 5 movie is The Outwaters. Now this one is a movie that I randomly discovered one night when I was going to my theater. I never watched a trailer for it. I went into it really blind and had no clue what I was getting into. And this one, the plot of it was 4 travelers encounter a menacing phenomena while camping in a remote stretch of the Mojave Desert. Yeah, now this one, it was a found footage movie. And honestly, this movie was very experimental. Half the time you couldn't see nothing. Like found footage to me, it can go one of two ways. You can have a found footage movie and I completely understand like there's going to be shaky camera. I understand that. That doesn't bother me. And that's not what bothered me in this film. Like in this movie literally you have a lot of points where again it's really dark, so you only have like the light on the camera and then they're walking through the desert. There are a lot of times where stuff would happen where you have like, someone getting killed or like blood, and you really can't even see what's happening. Like the camera would be like on the ground, like pointing down at the sand, and you can't even see what's going on. And like there's a lot of points in the film where they try to go experimental with it. It's a very experimental found footage film. And there was a point in this film where I was like halfway through and I was like, this is just, it was giving me a headache because like the camera was just like all over the place. And I remember it did have a slower start with it, and the characters like they did try to develop them like enough, but overall I didn't like the end result of it. And sometimes experimental, you can appreciate like they're trying to do something different, but when you watch something like this and you just get really frustrated with the found footage like camera work and everything like that, yeah, it's annoying. So yeah, I didn't like that one. And then we have my top four. So this movie, man, this next movie is a movie that I'm telling you, it made me feel after watching it that I literally could just go out and shoot my own movie and do it on my iPhone. And honestly, I think I could make a scarier movie. And that movie is Skinamarink. Now, Skinamarink, I did not see in a theater. I watched it at home. And with this movie, I'm going to tell you, I seriously do not get the hype for this movie. I really don't understand why people like this movie. I mean, teach their own always. But with this movie, like, okay, there's so many points in this movie where they're like shooting the camera down at like feet. Half the movie is literally a child watching show tunes, and you have the same show tunes going over and over. There's shots of like the freaking wall. There's shots of like the lights, the floor. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to do in this movie. I mean, obviously it's experimental and it was trying to like show like nightmares and like scared of the dark. There's a couple scenes, and there's one scene where like like you have the kid in the bedroom, or like you have someone like under the bed or something like that. Like those were too bad, but like overall, like this movie, it really, I really don't understand the hype for it like at all. Like I don't understand. Like it's not scary to me. You know what I mean? Like there was even a lot of points where they're literally showing shots of like freaking Legos and stuff. Like I don't know, man. Like I feel like this movie made it to be more of like a joke to me, more than just like taking it serious. And like I understand like it was not a lot to make. Like I completely understand that, but I've watched other movies like a Paranormal Activity, and that was made for like $10,000, and like a lot of that was improv, and they did a great job with that. So I know it can be done, but like this movie just wasn't it. So that's my number four. My number three is Till Death Do Us Part. Now, this movie is the knockoff. And earlier I was watching another YouTuber, and he did his worst to best movies, and he nailed it perfectly when he said that this is a knockoff of Ready or Not. And that's completely what it is. So it's about this couple that's getting married. The woman gets cold feet and she decides, I don't want to marry him. And after she decides that, she has all his groomsmen actually come out and try to kill her. And so, in doing so, this movie, there really only is one good kill, and it's like a chainsaw kill, which that was really cool. I will say that, because there's like this short guy, he's like a midget, where he's like mocking her and she kills him with a chainsaw, which that was really cool. But there's a lot of points where like there's like a lot of pointless dialogue. They try to go like the comedy route. They waste a lot of time, and I just they also had like this side story where they literally were just doing like this whole like what you want to call it, like a James Bond kind of vibe. Hold on one second. I got my cat. Just trying to get by the window. Anyway, what I was saying is, so like with Till Death Do Us Part, so they try to do this route where like the two of them are like apparently like spies, like James Bond kind of spies, and like they have like this network, I guess, like under like kind of like the FBI, and like they had that side story of like flashbacks and stuff like that. It didn't work for me. I just felt like there was a lot of points where there wasn't like a lot going on in the movie, and I believe it was like 90 minutes long. It may have been actually no, it was longer than that. Yeah, this one was really bad. And then we get into my top two. So my second movie, I recently did a roundup, and this is a Rob Schneider movie. That is Daddy Daughter Trip. Now this movie was about Rob Schneider is basically an Uber driver, and he's also wanting to be an inventor. And he has like really bad inventions. He doesn't make time for his daughter. He's married to Adam Sandler's wife in this movie, Jackie Sandler, and she wants to go on a trip. And it's spring break, and all her friends are doing really cool things, so they want to go on a trip. Now, he doesn't like to spend money, and in this movie, he finds ways to cut corners. Like, so like they go to a drive-in and like they're like viewing it behind a fence. They're not even really at the drive-in. Or like there's another point where they sneak into a hotel and they find this couple that's rich, and then they start touring with them on this bus, and like he doesn't have to pay for anything. And there's just other things in this film that he does, and I just feel like throughout this movie, I don't feel like he really learns his lesson as to becoming a better father. He really is just still doing things where he's being really cheap, and just a lot of the jokes in here are like really corny. Like there's one part where like he calls somebody like a poopy face or something like that, stuff like that, because it's a PG movie. And it just, the humor doesn't work. Even like my wife, she was just seeing a few scenes and she's like, yeah, this is really cringe. It just didn't work at all. Rob Schneider, I don't know, like if he's just, going down the wrong path with movies lately. I haven't seen him in a movie in a while, but um, you know, you know, prior to this, but yeah, this movie was awful. All right, and so my number one movie is Cocaine Shark. Now, I found out about this movie. I believe Mike introduced me to this movie, and I did get a screener for this. And it's released by Wild Eye Releasing. And if you know who Wild Eye Releasing is, they do a lot of low budget, like really low budget, like um, just really low budget movies in general. And this one is supposed to be, about a cocaine shark. And man, the acting was so bad in this movie. The shark, literally, there's a point where like they show the shark in the water, and the water with the shark is like literally like clip art of like a shark. And I'm telling you, man, like it's so bad. It reminded me of like the days when like you go into like you make like an art collage and you do like the clip art until like on the computer and everything like that. That was the kind of shark it was. And then there was another part where like the guy like goes into the water and there's like a puppet shark and everything like that. And man, just like some of the blood and just like it was a really horrible movie. And man, I just could not stand it. So that is my number one worst movie of the year. Let me catch up on comments, and then we'll go to my best of the year. Alrighty. Cinematics says Nefarious. I still got to watch it. I heard about it through a well-known preacher who interviewed the writer of the movie. Oh, interesting. Anyone But You, it was okay, but I was expecting more. My wife didn't like it. Oh, interesting. My wife, she liked it. We were laughing in the theater. There wasn't a lot of us in the theater. I think we saw it on Christmas Eve. Kenny says, watching the trailer for Nefarious. This looks awful. Yeah, it was really bad. Hey, Cal, what's going on? What's up? What the gym saying? Hey, Ryan, hope you are well. Hope you're good as well. Ryan is so hyped for Mean Girls. Yeah, I'm on the fence about watching that. I think I may let you guys be the guinea pigs to check that out and let me know what you think. I don't know if I'm gonna. I have a few movies that I want to watch. I think I'm gonna check out Beekeeper next week, and there's a movie on Hulu I want to watch with Anna Kendrick. I really like Anna Kendrick, called Self Reliance. I want to check that out, and I also am doing a review for a Shutter film called Destroy All Neighbors. So that will be one of my reviews coming up. And there's some other smaller movies that I've discovered this month. So I plan to check those out as well. So I may have some smaller stuff you guys haven't heard of coming up on the channel. Hey, Review Junkie. How you doing, man? Dave saying Cocaine Shark was so bad, it was kind of good. It was good kind of movie. All right. Fair enough, man. It was very bad. Uh, Review Junkie, haven't heard of many of these films. Yeah, I tend to find a lot of these films like when they're coming to like physical media. Sometimes I get screeners for them as well. So that's how a lot of times I end up watching them and not knowing about them myself. Because like that's one thing I do like on my channel is I like to do some smaller stuff that y'all haven't heard of because like maybe if it's good, like maybe you guys might enjoy it. Um, just to kind of like break up from like a lot of the other YouTubers that do like the main stuff, like Aquaman or something like that. Just to like, have a little bit more fresh and just like have different movies because you never know. Jason said I watched 10 minutes of Cocaine Chart and I had to quit. I hear you on that. Mike says Cocaine Shark, the hit movie of 2023. Did I chance to see Night Swim? Yes, I posted a review for it actually yesterday or last night. So check that out, and I will check out your stuff if you do a review on it as well. And you saying I'm good? That's great to hear. And Cinemax says I really like Mean Girls. I was going to give the reboot a shot, but once I heard it's a musical, I changed my mind, skipping it. So what's interesting about that cinematic is, yeah, it's a musical, but if you've I don't know if you've watched the trailers. They just released a second trailer. There's no like musical points that they show in there. So I'm wondering, is it really a full-fledged musical? Is the music really bad in it? Um, are they hiding it because it is bad? I don't know. I mean, I'm interested, and I'm very interested to hear other people's reviews. I know if Kenny's still in here, I know that he's watched it, and I know the review embargo I think lifts on Wednesday. So if he gets his review out, then I'll check it out beforehand just to see what he thinks about it, because I am interested about the musical aspect. There's no way in hell it's going to be as good as the original. I love the original. I love the cast. I don't even really know the cast in this new one, so I can't say that I'm ultimately looking forward to it. He goes, yeah, I need to check it out then. Kenny, I saw Mean Girls last night. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's definitely a musical. Okay, so there's a lot of music. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if it stems from Broadway. I'm assuming it does. So I won't know any of the songs. Have you had a chance to watch Killers of Flower Moon yet? I just finished Eileen. No, I have not watched that one yet. Eileen's on my list. I want to check that out. Review Junkie says Eileen was good. Okay. I've heard one review on it so far, and they said that they didn't like it. Definitely The Beekeeper's most anticipated movie of January. Yeah, I'm going to check out The Beekeeper. That one surprised me. Which one are you talking about? It's not based on the original. It's actually based on the Broadway. Okay, that's what I thought. Alrighty. We get a drink, and then we'll go into the best. Alrighty. Let's see. So, again, for best movies this year, I had 61 films that fell under a positive score. So that's pretty good. Some notable movies, honorable mentions that didn't make my top. I got When Evil Lurks, The Creator, Migration, Dream Scenario, Shortcomings, Anyone But You, The Beanie Bubble, The Equalizer 3, The Pope's Exorcist, Gran Turismo, Talk to Me, Haunted Mansion, Super Mario Bros. This may shock people, but Oppenheimer is not my top 20. Guardians is not my top 20. Elemental, 65, Missing, Megan, Cobweb, and Blue Beetle. And then I have Shazam on here as well. And Dungeons. So those are like the main movies that I pretty much have on my good list. So now we'll start talking about the top 20. I can guarantee you nobody is probably going to like my number one pick. I don't see anybody having that ranked at number one. So you'll be surprised with that. But if you know me and you know what genre that I like, you may not be surprised. All right, so we'll get into number 20. So number 20 is Thanksgiving. Now, this movie, it is very B-flickish, and you guys have probably you probably know about this movie, but I love the beginning shot of this movie, the over the top Thanksgiving rush of like getting like deals and stuff like that. That was great. I love the killer in this, Sean Carver. I love that they use like a lot of different Thanksgiving terms in it. I love the look of like the town and everything like that. Never been to Massachusetts, but it seems like it really was authentic in that. And it was a good time. Like the kills were great. It was brutal. I'm looking forward to the sequel. And I also, I'm really, I mean, I'm a little bit torn with the fact that they're not giving a 4K for this movie. Apparently, only the foreign markets are getting it, but we are getting a Blu-ray. So I am very interested to pick this movie up, and it was a solid movie. Get to a few comments. Spicy saying, "What's up?" Change my name. Yeah, I changed my name mainly because I was explaining in the beginning, because a couple of you have said that. I changed it mainly because the name technically doesn't make sense because it's reviews with Ryan and then it's movie reviews. So it's like a double whammy. And to be honest with you guys, I was saying in the beginning of the video, I honestly was very much debating about quitting YouTube. And I explained in the beginning of the stream as to why that is. Like there's some other hardships and stuff coming up. But yeah, that's like kind of like the main reason. But I'm not quitting YouTube anymore. I I actually want to say a little bit of encouragement as to going for it again. And I definitely want to be like more confident in my reviews and stuff. And yeah, I definitely want to come up with a new name. I just don't know what I want to come up with because I don't want movie reviews in my name, and mainly because I don't want to be just doing movie reviews. I want to do other things on the channel. So that's why I changed the name, just to let you all know. Same for you, Review Junkie. All right, so we're going to get into number 19. Now, this movie really surprised me. As I was mentioning earlier in the stream, I am not a religious person at all. And this movie was really good, but Jesus Revolution, I actually have seen this movie twice now. I'm really kicking myself for not seeing this in a theater because it was, the trailer did not look good to me at all. And I watched this movie and I thought it was a very influential movie. It was very informative. It was not very pushy or preachy. Obviously, it had like the Jesus message and everything in there, but it wasn't that crazy. So I really appreciated that about the movie. And I think like acting and overall the story was great. I picked it up on Blu-ray. I definitely want to revisit it. And I just think overall, like, it was a really like surprise hit for me. And I think that the main guy that was in it, uh, that was a hippie, because like the preacher like pretty much was judging him because he was a hippie, and he didn't want to, he was very old school with like who he wanted in the church and everything like that. And so he wasn't really acceptable of like hippies and everything like that. So I really enjoyed this movie. It was a fun movie. Next up on my list is a movie that I know a lot of people did not like. I actually am one of the few that loves the first one, and a lot of people hate the first one like completely. I hear so much all the time online how people just freaking hate the first movie. So this is The Nun 2. Now I went to go see this. I remember my wife went with me and my son, and we had a good time with this movie. I really, I obviously there's a lot of jump scares in it. I think this one had a little bit more story than the first one did, and I think that was kind of the problem with the first one and why a lot of people hated the first one. I love the first one though. I love like looking at the special features. I love like how they shot the film, where they shot the film. It's authentic where they shot the film, and just like music wise. I love that setting of like that daunting, cold feeling in a church like that. And I just think overall, like with this one, like it is a little bit different than the first one, but I enjoyed that they fleshed out the characters a little bit more. And I think overall it was a fun movie, and I have that in my collection as well. And let's see, number 17. This is another movie that people did not like. I love this franchise, always have. That is Insidious, The Red Door. Now, this movie, a lot of what a lot of people said was it was a slower movie, which I completely understand, like why people say that. But I think like with this movie, like they tried to add some like comedy and some extra characters, and I understand like that criticism with those characters and everything like that. I definitely think it could have like had a little bit more with the red door and the demon and all that. That definitely would have made it a little bit better. But I really enjoyed this movie. I didn't care that it was slower. I mean, I think maybe because I just loved the series or the franchise so much. The third movie to me is the weakest out of the bunch. I've always said that, and but overall though, I like the franchise, and even though this was slower, and I don't know if they'll do another one to be honest, because I feel like a lot of people really hated this one. But I mean, we'll see. Read a couple more comments. Jason says, "Well, I'm a fan of your channel and movie reviews, so I'm glad you're still here." Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it, man. You're always supportive. Jesus Revolution was number 3 on my list, but I'm religious and like the overall message. That makes sense, man. I understand that. The message was really good in that movie. I honestly, if there were more movies that were like that kind of movie, I think that I would be more open to watching those movies. I just think a lot of times, sometimes with the Christian movies, they can be kind of cheesy. But that movie was great. Spicy says, "Enjoyed your channel and reviews as well. Glad you're keeping with it." Thanks, man. Jason says, "I have to go to work, so I'll have to finish this video later." I appreciate it, man. Have a good day at work. Dave says, "We weren't going to let you leave. At least I wasn't." And he said the shift was really good. Yeah, I didn't see that. My best friend said that was really good, and he's not a really religious person. He said he didn't mind it, so that's cool, man. Alrighty, so we are at number 16. Now, this is another movie that I don't think a lot of people watched, and it doesn't have a physical media release. So I'm hoping that they'll eventually get it. Much like with Barbarian last year and not having a physical media release. I mean, God, just friggin' make a Blu-ray. You know what I mean? I don't understand. But that was Chevalier. Now, this was about a black musician, Joseph Boulogne. He rises to heights in French society as a celebrated violinist, composer, and fencer. And I was very reluctant going into this movie. I thought, okay, it may be boring, but no, it wasn't. Like his music was really, really good. He was very charming personality. He went through a lot of shit with like the whites, like just like downing him. And obviously, this is in the 1700s. The only issue that I had with this movie is, so it goes into like the French Revolution a little bit. I think it's one of those movies where it kind of just shows like the bits and pieces leading up to that. And like some of the other stuff that he did in his life, they don't really get into. So I was really disappointed with that aspect of it. But overall, I really did enjoy the movie. It's funny too, because when I went into this movie, it was a really small theater. And I think there was like maybe there was me and like there was 2 other people, but they were spread out. And I remember, so I think there was only like maybe 10 rows in the theater. And I remember there was a guy that came in, and the guy just freaking flat out fell asleep during the movie. And the entire movie, I'm listening to this guy going, just like the entire time of the movie. I mean, the guy was so damn loud. And even when the movie ended, the guy was still in a fast sleep, like motion, just like snoring it up, man. Um, it was a little distracting, and I wish I got a chance to re-see it in the theater. But overall, I really liked it. I checked it out. I did check it out later. I believe it's on Hulu to watch if you guys are interested in checking it out. But I really liked it. I really wanted to learn more about this guy and his music because a lot of his music got lost. And I just think overall it was a really good movie, and I'm really like a sucker for those kinds of like costumes and like the old like 1700s. I love that kind of stuff. It can if they can make it compelling and intriguing. I think they definitely did with Chevalier. So that is my number 16. All right, so number 15. This was another movie that I was really surprised that I liked, and this is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I really, really was surprised by this movie. This is a movie I did not see in theaters. Again, another one that I wish I would have watched in theaters. I think this year I'm gonna try to be a little bit open with some other movies because sometimes, like you watch these trailers and you're like, I don't know if I want to watch that. But after I watched this movie, I was like, this movie, it was funny. It goes through like girl puberty and all that kind of stuff. um but then like she also has like a contradiction where like her family is like half like Christian, half Jewish, and like she doesn't know what she wants to convert to. She's dealing with stuff in high school, her first love and all that, and obviously going through growing boobs and all that. So it's that kind of movie, and I thought it was very good and it was funny. And honestly, I bought it on Blu-ray, but I haven't got a chance to recheck it out again. But it was just a fun movie, a very fun movie, and one that like is a heartwarming movie as well. So I really did enjoy Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, and definitely recommend it. My number 14 movie is a movie, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. This is another one. I did not check it out in theaters, watched it later at home, and really did enjoy it. Jake Gyllenhaal, I thought, did a really good job. I thought some of like the war action scenes and like the missiles and some of the other cool things in this movie was really good. And unlike another movie called Kandahar that was kind of similar in structure in a way, I thought this movie had a little bit more action, and I think that it was more well directed. I think like shots and like the way that the plot and everything was very intriguing. I really did enjoy it, and it was a very big surprise to me. So that is my number 14. My number 13 movie is a movie that me and my wife went to go see this movie. She had no idea what it was. I didn't tell her anything about what it was about. I think I watched a trailer on it, but I mainly went to go see it because Mia Goth was in it, and that is Infinity Pool. Now, this movie I haven't seen since the theater. It's been a while. It's a very, very strange movie, but it has commentary on like the wealth and just like things that like with money can really get you like out of trouble, and things that you're doing even though maybe wrong, you can find ways out of it, so to speak. And it's a very artsy movie. It's a very sexual movie. It's very All right, I'm back. I have no idea what happened there. It completely kicked me out and just started circling. So what I was saying was, with Infinity Pool. Now, this movie I went to with my wife, and she was just very tortured by this movie. It's very trippy, like I said. It has a lot of sex in it. It's very flashy. So if like you don't like flashy lights, like my wife, she really can't take like flashy lights. So she didn't like this movie, and she had to like close her eyes and stuff. It's very violent. Mia Goth puts on like a hella performance. Like she is so good in this movie. And overall, like I really did enjoy it. Like it's super artsy. It's really up my alley. And I like artsy stuff. Sometimes I don't, but with this movie, I really did enjoy it. Let's see. So number 12 is a movie that a lot of people I don't really think liked. I think this one could have benefited from a longer runtime, but that is Napoleon. Now, Napoleon, I know a lot of people did not like this movie. I'll say this: I understand people didn't like it because of the accents, also because of like the story structure, because the way that the editing was, it could be kind of choppy. And a lot of times, like they're showing like battle scene after battle scene, which it is a lot of jumping from years to years. The battle scenes are very bloody, a little bit of gore, a little bit like you see like animals getting hurt. I do think that the way that the camera movements are and stuff with like the battle scenes, that was really cool. I know a lot of people really didn't like this movie. I know for my wife, I think she thought it was just kind of okay. It shows like Napoleon like being like, he's being like a really like, big asshole when it comes to like his love life. Like he wants an heir and all that, and you see him do different ways to try to have an heir and have a kid. They don't really go into like the kid aspect too much, which is a little bit of a disappointment. And I can definitely tell in this movie that there's definitely a longer cut because I believe there's a 4 hour cut. I'm really hoping that we get that 4 hour cut, but who knows? But I understand that people don't like this movie, but I enjoyed it, and I've always liked Ridley Scott. So that is my number 12, Napoleon. My number 11 is the Hunger Games Songbirds. It was a long ass title. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, The Hunger Games. There you go. Now this movie, despite the controversy with what's her face? Rachel Zegler. I really didn't care about all that and what she has to say. I try to like separate the art from the artist, and not really go into what their beliefs are, what they have to say. But this movie, I didn't think it was a bad prequel. I still enjoy the first four like a lot. I feel like that was like when I really like fell in love with like Jennifer Lawrence. Um, Jennifer Lawrence, I love her so much. Like she is an actress that I can just watch any movie she's in and pretty much like what she has to offer. And there's one thing I want to do is go through her filmography because I have not seen everything that she's been in. So, interesting enough, like I think with her not being in this movie and this being a prequel, I thought Viola Davis was really good. She's great as a villain. She deserves like an Oscar. I think she did great. I think overall, the guy that played Snow, I thought they did a really good job of showing him and how he became this evil guy. Now, it's not like instantaneously he becomes evil, which is great because they show like, him evolving into that. I do think like towards like the, like after like they go through the whole like Hunger Games and they shift to like the love story with Ziegler and Snow. I honestly think that it kind of changes like tonally, and I think like it kind of leaves it open to two movies. Now I don't know if like I've never read the book, so like maybe like kind of with that shifting. I mean, I don't know how like accurate it is, so it feels like though it could have been two movies, honestly. But I thoroughly enjoyed it for the most part. I was never bored with it, and I thought, yeah, Kenny's saying there, Tom Blythe who plays Snow. someone whose career I'll be following going forward. Yeah, he I don't think I've seen him in anything, so I definitely am going to look out for him for other movies. I thought he did a pretty good job, and this is my number 11. All right, we'll get a drink and we'll get into the top 10. I'll read some of your comments. Let's see. Let's see. I'm mad I missed Jesus Revolution. Smaller films barely last 2 weeks in my local theater. Yeah, I hear you on that, especially if there's a lot of releases. I mean, hell, even Prey got one before Barbarian. Yeah, dude, I want that freaking Blu-ray already. At least the Blu-ray, man. Chevalier was very good. It's too bad they didn't get more love. Yeah, I feel like it just kind of got into like right before summer season and people just didn't know about it. Barbarian was one of the best for 2022. I agree. Are You There, God was another good one. It just wraps up a bit fast. Yeah, I mean, I've only seen it once. I had planned on seeing Kandahar, but never got around to it. Yeah, Kandahar, it was okay. I ended up buying it because I think I got it for like a cheaper price. Review Junkie says, didn't miss anything. Kandahar was beyond bad. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it. Yeah, I was frozen. I had a very different experience with Vinnie Pool, and that's putting it kindly. Yeah, I understand. It's definitely a different kind of movie, man. I despise Napoleon, and that's putting it kindly. Yeah, I understand. A lot of people didn't like that movie. I completely get it. Thoroughly enjoyed Hunger Games. Yep, I definitely did. Villa Davis deserves a number. Yes, I agree, man. Definitely agree. And Tom Blythe, who played Snow, someone is incredibly looking forward to. Yeah, definitely want to see more of his stuff. All right. Now we'll get into my top 10. I can pretty much guarantee that probably most of y'all have not heard of these next two movies. But I did want to highlight them because they surprised me. So, number 10 is a movie called Miranda's Victim. This stars Abigail Breslin, Andy Garcia, Donald Sutherland, Luke Wilson, Ryan Phillippe. And basically, what it's about is it's the true story of Trish Ware, who in 1963 was kidnapped and brutally raped by Ernesto Miranda. And it's like talking about like the Miranda rights and everything like that. Committed to putting her silent in prison, Trish's life is destroyed by America's legal system as she triggers a law that transforms the nation. This movie was really good. Like, honestly, so this comes from Vertical Entertainment. And they send me screeners. And to be honest, like a lot of times they send me stuff and it's just kind of meh stuff or like it's just like kind of okay stuff. Never stuff that like really wows me. But this movie was like really good. I mean, it was an over a 2 hour movie. Most of the time they send me stuff, it's usually like 90 minutes or something like that. You know, never like a longer movie. And this one was like really good. Like I honestly was very surprised. I thought it was well acted. The story was very interesting. You know, I felt sorry for Abigail Breslin being this girl. She worked at a movie theater, and you know, one night she brutally gets raped. I mean, that's crazy. And I just, you know, the story was just so intriguing. Like, and I felt so sorry for her, you know, going through all this um, you know, to get a law and just like the history beyond that and everything like that. Like it was so interesting to me. And yeah, I was just really surprised by it. Like it's definitely like a surprise. If you guys haven't heard of this film, definitely check it out. I believe it is coming to physical media in February, so I may pick that up. But yeah, it was a very good movie, and I definitely would like to watch it again. And yeah, fine movie. This next movie, you guys probably have not heard of, but I highly recommend this movie. Um, it's a movie that actually is on Tubi now, but the director, when he sent it to me, um, so I believe he's a first-time director. Yes, he's a first-time director. He messaged me and he's like, "Yeah, man, check out my film." And the film is called Mickey Hardaway. So this film, it's filmed all in black and white. It's on Tubi for free, which I highly recommend this film. So I'll go ahead and read you what it's about. A young sketch artist agrees to an in-house therapy session with a well-renowned psychiatrist as his life begins sprawling out of control after years of physical and verbal abuse has finally taken a toll on him. This movie, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is probably like when you watch a movie and you get so emotionally attached to the characters and emotional to the story, and like when you see like a character, like something happened to a character and like you have tears, this movie is moving you. And this movie, like I said, it's all in black and white. The acting is really good. Honestly, I was very surprised. I don't know any of these actors. I don't know if it's their first role or they've been in a few roles. But the director, I was so thrilled with this movie. It really just like floored me, and just like some of the stuff that this young man goes through. It really goes into like stuff with mental health. There's a point in here where you see him getting verbally abused by like his father, people not following his dreams or like respecting his dreams. And he just goes through like a whole crock of shit. And like, it's just certain things kind of sprawl out of control for him. And he just goes through like just a whole like wall of emotions. And I was just really moved by the film. I just really surprised somebody. It's their debut, and this is not a theater movie and everything like that. I just overall, I was very satisfied with it, very proud with it. I really hope he goes far as a director, and he makes some other stuff. I think he has a bright future, and I like the little nice touch in black and white. So definitely, I recommend this. Like I said, it's for free on Tubi. Check it out. It's called Mickey Hardaway. All right, and then we're getting to the top 8. Now, my number 8 film, I did not see in theaters. My theater got this movie for like a week and it disappeared. So many people were talking about this movie and saying it was really good, but that is Past Lives. Now, this is another movie that really emotionally moved me. Now, obviously, I'm not a foreign descent. I'm white, obviously, and so with this movie, it follows this love story of this couple and their journey of just as younger children to also being like older and all that stuff. And this movie really resonated with me, mainly because, and I said it in my review. So this movie, these people have been friends for a very long time, and I can really relate to that. When I was younger, I had a girl that I met online, and we talked, and she's the longest person I've ever known, and still talk to this day. Maybe not as much as used to, but we kind of had the same like emotions going through this movie. I mean, obviously, um, in this situation, you have one person in a foreign country and another person in the United States, and like, they immigrate. And in my situation, I was living here in Florida, and this person, they were living across the United States. And we did eventually meet, which was really cool. But I just see like the emotion on the characters' faces, and, you know, kind of seeing how there was somebody else in this movie, and just, seeing like their friendship to like the kind of like love that they had for each other. It just really struck a chord in me, and I really liked a lot of the shots in here. They were really done well. It's just a really beautiful movie, honestly. It really is. I said it in my review, but A24, like, they have like this way of movies where they tug on your heartstrings, and like you really can relate to like the message they're trying to get out. And then they have like these artsy movies, like like horror movies like Hereditary or like a Midsummer, and like there's all these like horror messages within it, and like sometimes like different kind of messages like in art form that they have. But then you have a movie like this, and like it's pure like it's just pure like a masterpiece. Like, it's good, like it's amazing. And I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did, and I just I fell in love with it, and I watched it a few times, and I can't highly recommend it enough. So Past Lives is my number 8. So my number 7 is Air. Now, when this movie was first announced, I was like, how are they going to make a movie about Nike Air shoes be exciting? That was my whole premise in this, our whole like positioning in this. Ben Affleck directed this. He's done a movie like The Town that I really liked. He's done Argo, which I haven't seen Argo, and mainly The Town is what I've known him for directing, which was a great movie. I love that movie, and I think here like he does a really good job. You have Matt Damon in this. You have Jason Bateman. You have let's see, Chris Messina, Viola Davis is in this one as well. Chris Tucker. I've only seen this once, but I was very intrigued by the story and just how they recruited, Michael Jordan to wear the Nike shoes and like how they came up with the design and all that stuff. Like that was super cool. So I really enjoyed it for what it was. And like me and my wife, we really liked this movie, went to check it out. And yeah, this is a great movie. And, I love like the comedy in this movie. Like it actually was funny. And, even though you don't ever hear Michael Jordan talk, the one who plays Michael Jordan in this movie, I still think like how they do the negotiations and everything, it's very interesting and how they conduct business. So I really enjoyed this one. Now we'll get into my number 6, and people were split on this movie. Like some people really liked it, other people did not like it. That is Beau is Afraid. Now, Beau is Afraid. This is a 3-hour movie, and I'm gonna tell you, buckle up. You're on a crazy ride with this movie. This movie goes from like very dark humor to like Wizard of Oz kind of thing to just like crazy. I mean, there's so many crazy scenes, imagery, messages in this film. I mean, there's like a ton of symbolism in this film. And, I talked about it in my review. And it's a movie that like some people may not feel satisfied with the ending. And then others may not get all the symbolism. But man, did I love the dark humor in this. I love dark humor. I was cracking up in the theater. And I think when I went to go watch this, um, nobody was really like laughing or like showing any emotion or anything. And I was really liking this movie. It's very interesting. It is long and there are points like it'd be very testing, just to sit there for 3 hours watching this. And I completely get it. Like some people not liking this, I get it. I love the director, Ari Aster. He's made Hereditary, which I've really liked, and Midsummer, which is like one of my all-time favorite A24 films. Florence Pugh I discovered her in that movie, and the overall, I love his movies. And even though this movie isn't like overall, I would say um, like a super like horror movie or anything like that. I just think overall, like it's a movie that like it just really tests you, and like it's a movie where like there's a lot of shit going down, and you're just like, okay, what's going on here? Like it's a crazy movie. That's all I can really say about it. That is my number 6. Beau is Afraid. So we'll get into my top 5. Before we do, let me check the comments. Let's see. Kenny saying absolutely love Past Lives. Yeah, dude. Like I feel like everybody I pretty much talked to in the film community like really adores that movie. I'm glad it got the praise that it has. I don't know if it's going to get Oscars or not, but if it does, I hope so. Let's see. I thought Air was solid, but ultimately, I'm not as high on it as others. There's a much more interesting story with Viola Davis' character rather than Ben Affleck. She literally changed the league. Yeah, dude. Like I completely understand. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I was just really shocked at the movie overall. I just didn't think that I would have really liked it that much. But I Was Afraid was not one I enjoyed, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I remember you saying that. I think like Zach, I think did like it from what I remember. So that's the different opinions there. Hey, Porchman, what's up? What's up, man? Hope you're doing good. Mike, did you watch Saltburn? No, I didn't watch Saltburn. Honestly, I was kind of put off by like some of the scenes in that, but it is on Prime, so maybe I'll watch it. I already have Prime anyway for free, so well, not free, but you know what I mean. You can watch it for free. So yeah, yeah, Zach loves it. I respect it. Yeah, that's what I figured. All right, so we'll get into my top five, and a few of these movies I honestly don't hear many people talking about. At least the first two here. Uh, but my number five is A Good Person. I really like this movie. This was directed by Zach Braff, and he is let's see, he's from the what you call it, Scrubs. And this is Allison's life falls apart following her involvement in a fatal accident. The unlikely relationship she forms with her would-be father-in-law helps her life, um, a life worth living. Yeah, this movie was not an easy watch, but I really did like the chemistry between Freeman and Florence Pugh. I thought that both of them did an excellent job. This was tough to watch from a perspective of Florence Pugh's character, mainly because, like, she has it all. They get into this accident. Her boyfriend's killed, and she's living with that, and she's grieving, and it's tough on her. And like anybody, we would feel like shit, like losing a loved one like that. And again, it's not an easy watch. There's definitely times where the waterworks were working on that movie. She's going through drinking problems, drug problems, and just really on a downward spiral. And I think anybody that was in that situation would definitely feel that way. So this movie, yeah, it really surprised me, and I feel like not a lot of people talked about it. I feel like it kind of came and went, and not many people gave it flowers. And I wanted to give it its flowers because I think it's a good movie, and I did pick this one up on Blu-ray, so I definitely want to rewatch it again sometime. All right, and my number four now. Excuse me. Now, my number four. I did not expect to like this movie as much as I did, but it was a movie that technically, like, there's a lot of movies I feel like are kind of like this, but the movie is called Champions, and this movie is about a guy that gets drunk. He crashes his car, and he has to be forced to coach a basketball team, but a basketball team of the Special Olympics team. And then he's forced to do community service. This movie was a really funny movie. I was really surprised how funny this movie was. I had a really good time with this movie. Although I remember when I was in the theater, I kept having these kids that kept coming in the theater, and like they were being obnoxious, and like we had to kick them out. So there were times where like I was a little bit out of the movie because of like them like acting a fool. But yeah, like the humor in this was pretty good. Um, Woody Harrelson has like a little love story going along. I thought like the kids that have the disabilities, they're so funny. Like there's just different things that they did that were funny. Like there was a girl that was very open and very she was just like really out there as far as like like sticking her neck out there and like speaking what her mind was, which was really funny. And then there was other parts where like there was this guy that would take the basketball and he would like shoot it behind his head and he would always miss. And it just like funny little things like that. I mean, this movie had a lot of heart. I was really surprised. There were definitely parts in there I was laughing and enjoying it. And I've watched it since I watched it at the theater, because I did pick this one up on Blu-ray as well, and it was really good. Honestly, it hasn't changed. It's definitely in the top movie. Never would I would expected that to be my number 4 movie of the year. It's pretty much stayed there for most of the year, and yeah, just a great movie, a feel good movie. Like you come out of that movie and you feel so good, like a warm and fuzzy feeling. So fun movie. My number three movie is actually one of the only, actually, it's the only movie that I've seen twice in theater this year. And to be honest with you guys, I don't really watch movies more than once in the theater most of the time. I usually just don't have the time. And yeah, like most of the time, like, I'm moving to the next week. But I think like this was a week when like there wasn't a lot coming out. And I went to go see it a second time. I still enjoyed it as much as the first time. I remember seeing the trailer. I was like, instantly, this is going to be funny. I'm going to enjoy this. But that is No Hard Feelings. This movie, I'm telling you, like some people didn't like the fact of, the fact that she's an older girl. She's with this younger kid in college, and the family wants him to like break out of his shell and, have sex and not be a virgin anymore. And I just thought like there were a lot of parts in this movie where Jennifer Lawrence was funny, and I just genuinely feel like, she broke out of her shell into comedy. I just enjoyed her overall, and obviously there's a scene in here where she gets nude, does the dirty dirty, but added bonus for us guys, I guess. But just she's a great actress though in seriousness, and yeah, I just enjoyed it overall. Even on a second watch, thought it was funny. Another one that I picked up on Blu-ray, and I just think overall, like it was a movie that it definitely had more heart, than I thought it would. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and this is my number three. Now, my last two, I can almost guarantee that people don't have most of these high up on their list. And this just goes to the fact of like the genre that I normally love. And, the fact that I would say like comedy is probably my second favorite genre around there, but we just don't get as much comedy as I would like. So yeah, horror wins for the final two movies. So my number two movie is Scream 6. Yes, I love Scream. I love the franchise. Even the fourth one that I don't really like as much, I still love this franchise. Like the whole shit that's going down with Melissa Brer and all that, it's all bullshit to me. Um, I don't blame them for quitting. I don't blame the director for quitting. Honestly, it seems like Scream 7 is dead. And even if they do make Scream 7, I just don't think that there may not be a movie to salvage, to be honest with you, at this point with so much shit going down. But honestly, yeah, I love Scream 6. It was a fun time to theater. I always love trying to guess who the killer is. And, but this one, it was a lot more bloody and violent. I like that it was in New York. That was great. There was also Samara Weaving in the beginning. She's a babe. And, Jenna Ortega, she's coming around. I'm liking her more and more as time goes on. So yeah, this one was another one where it's just, it wouldn't get old to me because I love these kinds of movies. I love slashers. And yeah, so my number two is Scream 6. So my final movie, and this is my number one, and like I said, I guarantee you nobody has this on the number one for the year. I've seen a lot of stuff with like Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff. But my number one is Evil Dead Rise. This is another franchise that I love. I don't think there is a bad movie. I even love Army of Darkness. I love the 2013 version, like the whole like reboot. That is great. And I love this movie. I just, you know, I love the setting that it was changed. It's something different. They're in this apartment, like there's a whole bunch of other shit going on. And, you have this, possessed mom and everything like that. And it's a fun movie to me. Like I genuinely had a fun time with it. I know some people didn't have it as high as a ranking as me, but I feel like this movie has pretty much stayed like around number one for me, like most of the year. I had a blast in theater, and it's one of my most, like intrigued and anticipated movies of the year. So I think that kind of plays into it. So I feel like a little bit biased towards that. But yeah, like a fun movie. I love that the setting's different. The opening of this movie was friggin' awesome. Now, I'm assuming they're doing a sequel for this, and if they do, I'm definitely there. So I love this franchise, and that is my number one. So those are all my movies that I liked and I didn't like. I'm happy that you guys have sat here and watched this. Whether you're just joining now or you're joining after the fact, I appreciate it. We'll go to comments and I'll stay in here if you guys have any questions or if you want to talk other subjects. I'm down to do that. I'll go through your comments and we'll go from there. All right. Dave says Saltburn was so good and weird. Yeah, I've heard it's very weird. I have Prime, so if I get bored, I will check it out. I have a couple other movies on my list that I want to check out. Probably before I check that out. So maybe I'll get to it. I'll probably do a letterbox review if I do it. I don't think I'd review it on the channel, but Mike says you have to watch Saltburn. Yeah, a few people have said I should watch it, so maybe I'll check it out. I'd love to know your thoughts. Saltburn was interesting. I wonder what it was trying to tell me. Oh boy. A Good Person is a good one. I just think the coincidence were too easy for the plot and certain events to occur. Fair enough. I missed Champions when I was finally ready to see it. It got pulled from my theater. I don't know if you have, I think it's on Peacock, I believe. If it is, you should check it out on there if you have Peacock. But yeah, it's a fun movie. I really enjoyed that movie. I did not expect to laugh as much as I did, that's for sure. Mike saying some good picks, man. No hard feelings. Is a fun time. Yeah, man, that was great. Definitely a fun time. Kenny says loved Evil Dead Rise. It's great to know. Evil Dead Rise #1. Wow, definitely didn't expect that. Yeah, I don't think anybody did. There were other movies I really liked that, top movies that people liked, like Oppenheimer, which I like those movies, but like they're just not in my top. But yeah, I don't know. Like I felt like there was nothing that really would wow me to my #1. Like I don't know. I guess I just was really hyped for Evil Dead, and yeah, I figured nobody would think that would be my #1. Definitely, that's. I mean, I haven't even seen that on many people's list, honestly. So, Kenny saying, "Gonna head out, bud. Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate you commenting and hanging out. Have a great stream. Appreciate you, man." Dave show, awesome letterbox. Yeah, man. Add me on letterbox, man. That way you're organized with all your stuff. Hey, what's up, man? I've made it. How's it going? It's going good, man. I just finished my my worst and top movies. My top 20 and my worst 20. Dave saying I'm thinking about doing some live streams this year. I just don't think I have enough people who'd want to watch and hang out. Dude, just go for it. Honestly, like you can have guests on there and like it'll just build from there, man. I mean, even with my streams, like it's just built over time. Obviously I haven't streamed in a while, but yeah, man, like just go for it. Because even if like the thing is, even if people don't watch right away, you get watch hours later anyway, because people watch it after the fact. I had issues with Evil Dead Rise. How did the blood elevator get cleaned too quickly for the girl on her camping ship pothole? I hear you on that. My #1 is the Iron Claw. I did not see that one. I heard a lot of people say they really like that one, which I'm intrigued to watch it eventually. Sin says, wait, did you rename Samuel? So, Sin, hey, what's up? So, yes, I did. I explained in the beginning of the stream, like, so my name was RWR Movie Reviews. So, Reviews with Ryan Movie Reviews, which is kind of like a double whammy on, like, how the name is. And I wanted to rename it, like, in a rut as to what I want to rename it, because I don't want to rename it, like, with like reviews in there, because I want to do like other stuff on the channel besides like movies too sometimes. So that's kind of why I don't want to have reviews in the name, because it limits you to just do reviews basically. I mean, you can do other stuff, but usually when you name something like that, it kind of eliminates you from doing that. So Another reason too is because I said in the beginning of my stream, I honestly was thinking about quitting for a little bit. Just mentally, I was just not confident in like my reviews and talking about movies, and yeah, so like I changed the name. It is what it is for now. I don't know what I'll have for the future, but that's what I have for now. But I appreciate you commenting and coming into the chat. I'm heading out, man. It's nearly 1 a.m. here, but it's great to see you live and you back. You've been missed, dude. Dude, thank you, dude. You've been very supportive. And, you know, we've obviously chatted outside, you know, uh, the whole YouTube world. And I appreciate your support and just the positivity that you've given me. So I appreciate it, man. Have a good night's sleep, and I'll chat with you soon. Okay, I can't wait to rewatch and hear your list. Yeah, man. You'll probably be very shocked at some of the stuff that I have on my list. So, and then I know some movies some people haven't heard of. Definitely check out some of the ones you haven't heard of if you get a chance, because there's a few small ones I would love for people to check out. Saw your night swim review. What a letdown! Such a missed opportunity. Such a missed opportunity. The reveal was actually interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like with that movie, like it's kind of a little bit slower moving. Like it had points with like jump scares and everything like that, which I expected. But I just felt like the movie overall, it just didn't. I felt like I had a little bit more like expectations for it. I guess I don't know. That's the thing. I'm just, you know, I think I expected a little bit more out of it. I just think that the story was kind of lackadaisical. I just felt like there were more points in that movie where they could have done a lot more. So yeah, it was a little bit of a letdown. Will you be? Oh, will I be doing a must anticipated 24-hour stream? So I actually did a short for my most anticipated for 2024. I did 15 films. If you want to check out that short, I have that out. I didn't anticipate doing a stream for that, but I want to do more streams in 2024. That's something I want to do. I do want to go back to having guests on there. So, you know, if any of y'all are interested, you know, hit me up. You can email me. You can hit me up on social media. I'm on Instagram, RavensOsFan89. I have Letterboxd, I have Facebook, so you know you can hit me up on those, any of that. But I definitely would like to get more guests. Since as all that makes sense, burnout can definitely be a thing. You planning to watch Society of the Snow? I've had this movie on the brain ever since I saw it for Christmas. I actually just heard about that movie. I don't know if I'll rush to watch it again, or excuse me. I don't know if I'll rush to watch it, mainly because I have some other stuff on my list. I did watch Dave, who's in the chat. He did a review on it, and he said he liked it. It does sound intriguing, so I probably will eventually watch that. Let's see. I like the Ravens O's fan. I'm glad you have returned. Okay, man. I'm glad you like it. It represents me because obviously I love the Ravens and I love the Orioles. O's, that's what the O stands for, and then obviously fan, and then 89. So yeah, I may keep that name. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Code Man? What's going on? Caught the live stream my first day. Rock on. Hey, man, I appreciate you joining, man. Definitely stick around. Dave says the ending to Night Swim pissed me off. So dumb. Yeah, I did not like the ending. I didn't like how they chose to wrap it up. I don't know if like there's going to be like a sequel to it. Will it make enough? Personally, I don't know. That'll be interested. I'll be interested to know if they do a sequel, but who knows? I don't know. Like I said, I just felt like that movie it definitely. It just I think it definitely needed more of a kill count. I think for sure. Definitely that scene where like they're like in the pool and they have all those people over for the pool party. Like they could have totally did something there, and they just a missed opportunity for sure. So disappointed in that aspect. I said same. I had high expectations. Hey Ryan, I was in and out of sleep earlier, but I appreciate the updates. Happy to hear from you and wish you all the best 24th, everything that's come to the channel. Thanks, D. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm hoping to do different stuff, coming up with the channel, and you know, just looking forward to a new year, mentally in the right state. Because I feel like, yeah, for a little bit, I definitely was not, I think, mentally in the right state, and just not wanting to do reviews or not feeling confident. And so, with a lot of stuff going on, that really, I think, affected me. And I think, after talking to people like, like Mike and Dave and a few other people, I'm glad that I did, because I definitely want to, keep on this journey and, keep making movies, keep making reviews and doing other stuff, because I love movies and, yeah, I like doing this. Dave watched something. Okay, so that's a sin. We should do something stream wise in October as long as they're both free. Yeah, man, you can always hit me up for a stream. It doesn't have to be specifically October, or if you have an idea that you want to come on here and do a stream. I'm game for it because I think the last time I did a stream with you was like the first stream that I did. And I think that was with Let's Watch a Movie. So yeah, I would like to do another one. I mean, it made 10 million Thursday nights, so I think the budget was 15. Yeah, it was 15. Yeah, it seems like it'll make its budget back easily, but I don't know if they'll do a sequel or not. I feel Blumhouse keeps tricking me. Same with their next film, Imaginary. So I don't know if you know this. The guy that directed Night Swim, he actually is one of the writers on Imaginary. So I'm very interested to see what he does writing wise, because that was his first movie, Night Swim, and then like they adapted that from a short. So I'm very interested to see, what are they gonna do for Imaginary? You know what I mean? The trailer for Imaginary, it looks okay. I wouldn't say like it looks amazing or anything. But it's a horror movie. I'm gonna go see it. Like that's pretty much like my favorite genre. So I'm always gonna check out a horror movie for the most part. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out Imaginary. What's a movie you wish got a sequel, or what's a movie that shouldn't have a sequel or shouldn't got a sequel? A movie that I wish got a sequel. Um, hmm. Uh, that's a good question. Movie that had got a sequel. As far as shouldn't have gotten a sequel, I would say an Indiana Jones 5. We didn't need an Indiana Jones 5. And one that got a sequel, or wish that I got a sequel. Oh, man. Ooh, that's tough. I don't know about that one. That one is a really tough question. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of stumped on that one. I'm not really sure what I think should have got a sequel. Just thinking off the top of my head. Don't give up. I know YouTube and social media is general. Can you help? They must give up back in April. Yeah, man. I'm definitely trying to have a new perspective towards YouTube and just social media in general. Sometimes like you're too much on it, and I think that can really get to you. So, yeah, man. I feel their PG-13 rating hurts them sometimes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure, man. Not all the time with a PG-13 movie, but like I definitely get your drift. Because obviously it limits what they can do. Like they can't have a lot of blood or anything. They can't have anything too graphic with kills, which a lot of times too, like the PG-13, like it caters a lot to the teenagers with the jump scares. Like in the case of Night Swim, there's a lot of jump scares. So yeah, that definitely it makes a difference. Dave, I feel like there will be a Night Swim 2 Blumhouse only makes 2 movies and decides to shoot a franchise or not. Yeah, I mean, there probably will be, and I'll probably there to watch it, I'm sure. But it'd be interesting if they keep the same characters, or will it be like in a different timeline or something like that, or like this. I can't really say much as to what they could do because it'll give away the ending. And if anybody wants to see it in here, I don't want to say. Hey Scott, what's up? Hey dude, hope you're doing well. Appreciate you dropping a comment. I will not stand for the Indy 5-8. So you like that movie? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. The fourth one was really bad. And this fifth one, it's not as bad as the fourth one, I will say that. But like, I don't know. Do we need an Indy 5? I don't know. Zoolander should not have had a sequel. I did not see the first Zoolander, so I can't really comment on that. So yeah, I'm assuming it's a bad movie. Halloween Kills was kill heavy, no pun intended. Yeah, dude, those are some crazy ass freaking kills. I had a hard time with Judy Long in Night Swim when the reveal comes out. I felt like she was doing a comedic skit at first. Fair enough, yeah. I don't know. Judy Long was the let's see in this one. It was which one did she play again? She played Jody Long. I think it was Jody Long. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was kind of like the best reveal. Yeah, I see you down there. You're saying the Asian lady. I got you. Yeah, I just saw her on Letterboxd. Yeah, I know you're talking about now. I am shocked that Smile 2 isn't going back with Kevin Bacon's daughter. Yeah, I don't know. I think I heard that Naomi Scott's in that. She was Jasmine in Aladdin. I think that's where she was in. Pretty sure. So I don't know what they're doing for that. To be honest with you, Smile was like so good. I don't know. With Smile 2, dude, I have my doubts with that movie. I just don't know if they can really, capitalize, that energy with like the first movie. Ooh, excuse me. I think people expected way too much for Indy 5, but that was just me. Um, Maybe so. I also felt like with that movie, like a lot of the people that probably watched the first three, they were older, and because like the audience skewed older, I don't think like the younger audience was really interested in watching Indiana Jones 5. I don't think there would ever be another one. I mean, personally, I don't think there should be anyway, but I think the audience really played a part into that because I just don't know if a lot of like the fans from Indiana Jones like really, really were going to go out to go check that out, especially after the fourth one. We shouldn't have gotten Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and then Dow could be a proper four. Dow could be a proper four. Yeah, Crystal Skull was bad. That one was so bad that because I bought all the steel books, the first four, and I had never watched them. I watched the fourth one, and dude, I sold off my steel book. I was like, I'm never watching this movie again. So I just stick with the original three. The Asian lady, yeah. What about Trick or Treat 2? I've never seen the original, the first Trick or Treat. It's been on my list. You're talking about the anthology, right? That's that's a movie I want to check out eventually, but yeah. Let's see. The original three, the best of Indiana Jones. Yes, I agree. I actually was interested in seeing Indy when I saw the fifth one, but I get what you mean. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those franchise where like I just think the first three are beloved so much, and then when you threw in that fourth one, like it just, I mean, it like I feel like it just killed a lot of hope for just like indie fans in general, and then like they made this fifth one, and like it just kind of went, you know what I mean? Yes, highly recommended. Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. I haven't seen a lot of horror anthologies, so that's definitely one I want to check out. I mean, spooky season will be fine without Michael Myers or Ghostface this year. We got Saw 11, Small 2, and Terrifier 3. Dude, Terrifier 3, dude, I'm really looking forward to that, man. I hope they really capitalize on that Christmas setting. I don't know what the hell the Smile 2 is going to be about. And then Saw 11, I don't know what timeline that's going to be. Um, I really need to see Saw 10, but I do have all of them on Steelbook, that Walmart Steelbook with the 8 and then Spiral. It was like 8, yeah, and then Spiral. So I definitely want to check all those out. So I definitely need to do that this year and check those out. I'm nervous about Imaginary now that you mentioned Night Swim directors involved. Yeah. I don't know how he is as a writer. I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if he's wrote anything. Let me see. So he actually, it says on here that he actually helped wrote Night Swim. Uh, he's only wrote, or he's directed one other film called Baghead, which I've never heard of. And I don't think, yeah. So he's wrote like a bunch of short films. It looks like it looks like Night Swim, Imaginary, is his two main films, and then he's done whatever this Baghead movie is. I don't know what the heck this is. I never heard of it. I don't even know any of the people in this movie. It must be a real small, low budget movie. So yeah, like this is basically him getting a crack at it. Why do you think Disney struggled so much in 2023? Yeah, in general, I just don't think that people really cared about their movies, and like some of the politics probably pissed them off. Um, like Wish didn't do well, and then which I didn't even see. Indiana Jones obviously didn't do well. They had what else did they have? They had some other losses too. So yeah, they had a rough year, and I was reading earlier that they lost like a ton in streaming money. So that plays a factor as well. Uh, Dave says, I think Saw 11 will wrap up the Saw 3 timeline. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I got to see the 10th one. If you could pick three fictional characters, whether in the same universe or each one is different, or each one is from a different universe, as your road trip buddies, who would you pick? Same universe or each one is from different universe. Are we talking about like? Okay, so I guess like you mean like any characters. Okay, so if we're talking like superhero characters, I probably would pick something like probably Captain America. Um, Probably Spider Man, and mm, probably probably for Spider Man. Gosh, because then I had to pick between all the Spider Mans. Oh man, if we could pick Toby in his younger years, so I'd take that Spider Man, Captain America, and Wonder Woman. Those three. Those would be my buddies to travel with. Do you think this year will be filled with good, bad, awesome, or man movies? To be honest with you, dude, I think it could be a mixture all over. I think these first few months are going to be filled with probably average or man movies. Um, I think we'll get a few movies kind of sprinkled in. There is some trailers that I've seen that I'm interested. It's some horror movies. Some of them I think could be bad, like that Mickey's Mousetrap. That looks terrible, but I'll go see it. Winnie the Pooh will probably be bad. I'm trying to think what else. I am interested in that new Strangers movie that's coming out. I'm interested in Dune coming out. I'm interested in the first Omen. I just saw the trailer for that. I love the music in that one. That was pretty dope. Trying to think what other movies. I don't know if Mean Girls will be very good. Uh, there's a movie with Jenna Ortega coming out called Miller's Girl. I'm not really sure how that's gonna be. Looks kind of meh. Just thinking of like some of the stuff coming out. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure how the summer will be for me because like there's a lot of summer movies I'm just not really that interested in, but maybe I'll check out. So I mean, guess we'll see how it goes. Like this month, there's a lot of small movies that I'm gonna end up checking out and hoping that I'll find a gem, but you just never know. I'm shocked Wish flopped. Yeah, I don't know. The trailer for me on that one, it just never like drew me in. I still haven't seen it. And the most of the reviews have been bad. So I've only heard of a couple like reviews where people really liked it. And that was like few and far between. So I guess like people just weren't really drawn into the movie. I mean, I guess maybe the concept just didn't really draw them in. So I guess that's what it is. I don't know. I think Maxine comes out this year, and Chris Stuckman's horror movie. Yeah, it was supposed Chris Stuckman's movie. I think was supposed to come out last year, but I haven't heard any updates on it. But then again, I don't follow him. Mainly I don't follow him anymore because like his reviews, he said that he wasn't going to, um, I guess like shit on movies anymore, and like he just wanted to like do respectful reviews, which I mean that's his choice, but personally, like when I'm watching a review, I want your honest opinion, whether you like it, hate it, whatever the situation. And to be honest with you, like you people, even if someone hates a movie and I like it, like I don't get offended. You know how people get, but I just like the authentic reviews. And with Stuckman, I just don't really watch his stuff anymore, like keep up anymore. But I am looking forward to his movie if it does come out this year. Hopefully, it comes out in the theater. Disney always owns Thanksgiving. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like maybe people are just fed up with Disney, and I don't know. Maybe certain things with like the CEO like just like piss people off. I don't know. I mean, it seems like this year was kind of weird when it came to just movies in general. But I also think now with movies, I think people are starting to see with the fact that if you just skip a movie, it'll be out on streaming or on digital to rent very quickly. And I feel like for a movie like Wish, if you have like a family of four and you're paying what $40 for tickets or so, like roughly we'll say $10 a ticket, plus like snacks, because like people that usually go to those kinds of movies, they're not going to the movies every week. They're going like maybe a couple times a year. So when they go see a movie like Wish that kind of looks mediocre, I think they're just gonna not watch something like that, and they know it's gonna come on Disney Plus anyway. Like I think it's one of those things where like if it doesn't look like something where it just really interests them, or if they're people that don't really go to the movies that much, they're just gonna wait for streaming. That's just how it goes, and I think ultimately obviously for a family of four, you can just if you don't have Disney Plus and you want to rent it for $20 or something, they'll just do that because it'd be $40 anyway if they buy the tickets. So I think that's how it goes. And then word of mouth plays a part as well. Deadpool 3. Yeah, I'm gonna go see Deadpool 3. I haven't seen the first two in a while though. I think I remember liking the first one more than the second one, which is I think that's the case for a lot of people. I think Dune Part 2 and Deadpool 3 are probably the big stars this year. Yeah. Well, Dune 2 has been hyped forever. I mean, so that would make sense. And also, I think in general, that'll be the next big movie just because this month is real slow, which isn't going to bring out like the mainstream crowd. I think in February, maybe you'll get a little bit more people go to see like Madam Web and maybe Argyle. And then there's not much else the rest of the month. It's a lot of small movies that is not going to bring a mainstream crowd. So I think like Dune is your big movie, like the first big movie. So I think you're right on that. And Deadpool 3, I think a lot of people are excited for. So I think a lot of people are going to go see that as well. Me Too wasn't bad. Shocked at Flop had a good time. Talk about Wish, I believe. Yeah. Maybe bring back Michael Eisner or get someone who knows what they're doing. Fair enough. I totally agree. I feel like people know if it flops, it goes to PVOD, digital streaming, like 2 weeks. Well, yeah, like for instance, there was a lot of movies this year. Like for instance, Fast X. That's a huge movie, but it doesn't do like the Fast and Furious movies don't do well in the U.S. They do well overseas, which is why they keep getting made. We go, why the hell do they keep being made? It's because they make all that money overseas, and that's why they keep making them. But I remember Fast and Furious was on digital within 3 weeks. So it's like, if you don't want to go see that movie, you can wait 3 weeks. And if you're a couple anyway, it's going to cost you roughly $10 a ticket, so $20. If it's $20 to just rent it on the TV, you'll just do that because you'll save the money. You don't have to spend the snacks. So yeah, I think there's more options than ever. I always think that there will be an audience at the theater, but I think it'll just depend on the movie, and it depends on the theater too. Like, for instance, the theater I have, I don't know if you all have Regal, but all the Regals by me have closed except for one. They all went out of business. And the one Regal that's by my work in the next city over, not a lot of people go to it. And it's because they don't have like the updated seats and all that stuff. So I definitely think that's a factor too. Having like the updated seats, and maybe like half decent food too. I mean, because I think people they want to eat when they go to those places, and like that movie theater isn't updated at all. And the thing is, I can go during the day. I actually gone the last 2 times. I went to see Night Swim last night, and then I went to see Aquaman a few weeks ago. I went on both opening nights. I went at 5 o'clock showing yesterday, and I went to Aquaman 4:30 show, and I was the only person in both. So I think it just depends sometimes, because like there's other theaters I have that are busier too. So I think there's always, an audience. I just think that it just depends, and I think it depends on the area, because like for me, like in the next town over, so like where I live in the town I'm at, I only have one theater, and it's more of like a touristy town. So it's usually not like too crowded. Like it depends. Like sometimes, like once in a while, it is. But then, like I have other theaters. Like if you go to the next town over, and there's literally like, I mean, no joke. There's literally like 10 different theaters. So when you have that so much saturation, like some theaters are not going to get as many people as others. That plays a factor too. So, and then price and everything that always factors in. So it just depends, I think. Challengers looks fun. Only for Zendaya. Sorry, just being honest. No, I want to check out Challengers. I saw the trailer for that. I'm not like a big tennis guy, but I'll check it out. I think If is February 2 or a summer movie. Oh, Imaginary Friend. I think if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I wasn't really that wowed by that trailer. Plus, people aren't looking for positive reviews for Disney movies on YouTube. Most people want negative reviews. It seems that way, right? It seems like people want to hear the negative reviews, I guess. I don't know, though. I see people on Twitter all the time. They get pissed off at us critics that don't like a movie. I mean, hell, heaven forbid we don't like a fucking movie. You know what I mean? Like, people get so irritated by that. We're all trying to sabotage the movie. But, I'll never understand that. People go on there and they're like, these critics, they just want to sabotage the movie. Like they don't even understand how Rotten Tomatoes works. It's either like you give it a yes or you give it a no, and it factors into the scores and then how many critics, reviewed the movie. So that's what it's based on. So like they see a score of like 40% and they go, oh, they gave it an F and 40%. No, that's not what it means. It means 40% of the critics of how many people reviewed it like the movie and would give it a thumbs up, and they don't understand that. But when they see that score, they get all pissed off, about it, and they go see a movie and they go, oh, well, I showed those critics. It's just, it cracks me up all the time. Okay, I appreciate it, Dave. I love Regal, not an AMC fan at all. So AMC, I have I have one that's in like I have like three near me. Um, the one that most of them have been pretty nice, like as far as like the seats and stuff. They're pretty nice. I don't mind them. Um, I can't say that I've ever had a bad experience in one. I mean, I don't have a pass or anything, so that's kind of another reason why, like with movies, like I can't watch every single thing in the theater because I'm paying like the ticket every single time. Um, my theater that's by my house, they used to do a pass, and then they changed systems, and they said they were going to bring it back, and they never brought it back at all last year. So I don't know if they're going to bring that back. I hope they do. And I would get the Regal pass, but the problem is the Regal that is by my work, they don't get a lot of business. And I'm always worried that they're going to close because it's always really bad in the parking lot. Like literally, if I go there on a weekend or just pass by there on a weekend, I remember when that, like the parking lot's huge for that theater. I remember like the parking lot used to be packed like all the time. Now you go there and it's like 25, 30 cars. So like I don't know how they survive, you know what I mean? And like they have a lot of stuff there that's like not updated, it's broken, they don't update the theaters. So I'm always like worried to get that pass and then like if they close up, like will I be screwed or will I get refunded? And I've heard like horror stories where people say like they won't refund them and stuff like that. So I just don't get that pass. And then AMC is technically too far from my house. So I mean, it's closer to my work where I work at, but like if I ever wanted to go on a weekend or something, like it's too far a drive. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't have the AMC pass. Cinemark is good, but they really need better food options, and they pulled all their merchandise to demo online. Really interesting. I think the last time that I went there, what did I watch? I think I went there in August the last time I was there. And again, that's not a theater that's close by me either. And they had their merchandise last time. So yeah, they must have pulled that since then. Um, they used to have a Starbucks in there, which is really cool. I used to get Starbucks all the time, but then they pulled that. So now they don't have Starbucks anymore. But I haven't been there in forever. The shirts and stuff. Aquaman 2 is a letdown. I felt whatever interference there was, it ruined James Wan's vision. Yeah, that movie, I just think there was a lot of reshoots. There was a lot of stuff going on with that one. I think it never had a chance, honestly. They probably would have just been better scrapping that movie. It's not like the worst DC movie ever, but it was kind of a man movie for me. It's definitely a one-time watch. So it's a shame because I like James Wan. Remember Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken? I can't believe that flopped too. Yeah, I think you liked that movie. I think if I remember, I didn't like it. Neither me and my wife liked it. That was in my dishonorable mentions because it wasn't a very good movie to me. I know the Marvels got trashed, but I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it. I had a friend that went to go see it, and he told me about like the jokes and like what happened in the movie, and it just didn't seem that interesting to me. So I probably won't watch it, to be honest with you. I'm the only movie tuber that doesn't get ripped into laugh out loud. I don't know if that is a good or bad thing. Well, dude, remember last year you had the Winnie the Pooh review, and you got ripped into from the actress and a couple other people, I think. Dude, I remember that. Like you got you got fucking ripped into. I think that was the last time that I've seen you get ripped into. I just remember that the actress is fucking pissed that you said that movie was shit. The only time I get ripped into was the Winnie the Pooh. Okay, yeah. So you mentioned that. I love Regal Limited. I don't know what I'd do without it. Yeah. I would love it too. But I just, again, I'm afraid that that movie theater will close, dude, because we had two other Regals. So we had one um, that closed, and they made it like they made it into apartments. They bulldozed it down. They made it into apartments uh, because apparently, like on the same road, like I think like a few miles down, they were making a Cinemark. So they decided not to renew the lease. And then the other one that we had, I mean, which is way far from here, like literally, it's at the Jacksonville airport, which is literally from here, dude. It's like way over an hour. And that one closed down because that one wasn't doing well. And the owner, because Regal doesn't own their theaters, they're like leased out by landowners. So like the landowner can make that decision, you know, what they want to do with the building. So like the landowner ended up selling the Regal by the airport, and now it's going to be, I believe, like I think it's going to be either a Kroger or like one of those, like a BJ's or something like that. So that Regal is no more. So like the only Regal that's left is the one that I was telling you that's at my work, and you know I go there and support it, but yeah, man, like I'm afraid to get the limited and then they close up. So because that would be what would happen. I would literally go tomorrow, get the unlimited, and then literally they would close up a few months from now. So you know they definitely have not been doing good. I know that for a fact. Give it some room, no backlash for beginning Marvels. Yeah, they're talking about that. I gave it a decent review for the Marvels too, and people and stuff. That's ridiculous, man. Fucking ridiculous. I mean, it's an opinion. Like, why? Like I feel like, I don't know if you guys agree with me on this, but I feel like a lot of people now, like, if you don't go with the popular opinion of what everybody else uh, goes for, like, people like get so offended. It's so fucking stupid, man. Like, really, it's so dumb, dude. If you liked it, you liked it. I can't get people to sub, so it's going to take 20 years to hit 1K sub. They should have scrapped Last Kingdom instead of Batgirl. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they would have done with Batgirl. I think it was dumb they released Lost Kingdom. I think nobody truly has any interest. You said you did like Ruby. I remember that. There are not Cinemarts in my state, but I know they do good stuff. For instance, this month till the 10th, they're playing the LRTR Trilogy Extended. Yes, sometimes the theater by my house, they will do special screenings as well. Regal will, and I'm not sure what AMC does as much because I don't go there as much, so I can't say. Whew. I'm blocked by the Twitter account. The Winnie the Pooh account? To be honest, the Regal by me is mediocre business. Why they were super busy though when Barbie came out? Well, yeah, I think every theater was pretty much busy when Barbie came out. I remember when I watched Barbie because I was coming. Where was I coming from? Oh, I went to Tampa um, in July, and I was coming back from Tampa, and we stopped at it's a local theater chain that is in Florida only. They have like actually scratch it. They have Florida chains, but then they also have like one in North Carolina, and their headquarters in North Carolina. Figure that out why they have one theater in North Carolina, the rest in Florida. I have no freaking clue. But they're called Epic Theaters. And I remember going to the one that's about 30 miles from here, coming up from the way back from Tampa. And that theater was packed too. So I honestly think for every theater for Barbie, it was pretty crazy. It's amazing what word of mouth does, and promoting too. Mission Impossible 7 was in my top 10. Why do you think that flopped? To be honest, I think there was a lot of stuff going on. I think there was so much hype for Barbie and Oppenheimer that got overlooked. Because that month there was a lot of stuff going on, and they freaking dropped Cobweb the same freaking week as Barbie and Oppenheimer. So I think there was a lot of stuff out. Then you had Haunted Mansion. Talk to Me, which is a different audience. But yeah, a lot of stuff out that month. And I don't know, maybe because of like Barbie and all that, maybe that's why I didn't do as well. To be honest with you, I've never seen a Mission Impossible film. Um, so that was another reason why that wasn't even on my list anyway, because I've never seen any of those movies. I definitely want to watch them eventually, though. Sup, after want to check out your list. Yeah, Rusty, definitely check it out. I'll be interested to hear what you think. And if you do a list, man, I'll definitely tune in to watch your list. I still have a Cinema 6 in either a Regal or Hollywood 18 in my area. Okay. Yeah, I only have Regal, I have AMC, Cinemark, and then I have Epic by my house. And then I have a couple smaller like theaters that are like off brand that are really small. So, yeah, I do not have a Hollywood 18. I don't think I've even heard of a Hollywood Cinema 6. I stick to gift cards for my theater because knowing my luck, they would shut down once I get the rewards cup. Yeah, exactly. Yep, the Winnie Pooh. That's fucking funny, dude. What a bunch of asshats, dude. Like seriously, how how can you be such asshats to one review? It's not like the thing is, dude. Like for what your account is and like what you're doing for like reviews. I mean, like what the. I guess they were thinking like you were kind of famous there for a minute when they, blocking you. That's fucking ridiculous, though, dude. Come on, dude, that movie was shit. I don't care. I hated it. Uh, what? Never seen the Mission Impossible? I do love it. Yeah, I've never seen it. Honestly, you'd be surprised that I haven't seen a lot of Tom Cruise's movies. Um, I had a different path with movies and just like entertainment in general growing up. So I wasn't really introduced to Tom Cruise for a while, to be honest with you. So yeah, I've never seen any of those movies. Dude, I saw Haunted Mansion 4 times. I was like, am I missing something? Why is this getting good reviews? Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I liked the original too. It was a little bit slower. I mean, I haven't seen it since the theater. Uh, yeah, I got a really fire steelbook at Best Buy. I know that. And I think it had a 4K exclusive at Walmart, but I could never find that. So I just picked up the Blu-ray for it. So I definitely want to rewatch it at some point. The AMC is down by Tampa, and of course the one in Orlando, Disney World. Yeah, I've seen the one in Orlando before. I can't remember if I have been inside. I mean, I've seen the outside. I can't remember if I've seen a movie there or not. I probably have at some point. But yeah, that one's really nice. I think they did once. I said, do we really need another one? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. All right, so I'm all caught up on comments. So if you guys got anything else. So I will say that for my channel coming up, I'm going to do another Blu-ray, another DVD to Blu-ray update. I got a ton of shit. I got a really good deal at Second and Charles. They had a deal where it was buy 5 Blu-rays, get 5 free. So I updated a bunch of my collection. I got some stuff on Amazon because like gift cards for Christmas. So that was so I got a ton of stuff. I think I got like maybe like 20, 25 new titles, something like that. So I'm looking to upgrade all those from DVD to Blu-ray and kind of moving forward, just sticking with Blu-ray and 4K for the most part. I get that sometimes like some of these movies just get DVD and I'll just settle if that's the case. But yeah, that's my goal, to get most of the Blu-rays, updated in my collection. So I'll have a video with that coming soon. And then I also got a Shutter screening that I just watched that movie today, and I'll be doing a review on it It's called Destroy All Neighbors, and it's coming to Shutter the 12th, next Friday. It's coming next Friday. The embargo lifts on that on Monday, so I should have it up hopefully by Monday. So I'm gonna do a review on that. I'll talk about that movie, and I'm gonna be watching Self Reliance on Hulu. I'll do a review on that, possibly. Not sure. The Beekeeper I'll see. Possibly Mean Girls. I don't know. And there's gonna be some other smaller movies this month too that I'm gonna check out. So there may be some in between. So that's what's coming up on my channel. Let's see. Rusty says, haven't been to an actual theater since. Wow, that's a long time. But you buy so much physical media anyway. So you got your own damn theater. Oh, I think their account blocked me after I asked if we needed another one. Oh, God. That's so stupid. Do you have a dedicated room just for physical media? It's tough because I never have enough room to. No. So the room that I'm in now is just kind of like the room that I record in. It's just like an extra room that we have. It's kind of just a guest room. I have physical media out in the living room. By my TV and everything, and I have 2 shelves, which is completely full of shit. And I need to probably get a 3rd shelf. Plus, I have a couple binders of movies too. So yes, I have quite a bit, but I've also gotten rid of stuff that I know like I won't watch, just like DVDs and certain things. So I'm kind of going through it slowly but surely. So yeah, I don't have like a cool room. I wish I had like a cool setup like other people. Yeah, it looks like Walmart is your friend when it comes to Blu-ray and 4K now. To a point, I'm not going to solely rely on them. Probably go to like Goodwill. Sometimes has some good Blu-rays. Second and Charles, and they're starting to get 4Ks too, so maybe I'll be able to get some 4Ks there. Target's a fail. I don't bother with them anymore, really. Sometimes I'll peek in there, like if I'm like, because sometimes I go in there, I'll get like food or like kitty litter or something for my cats. But I pretty much just don't really shop on there that much anymore. And then, yeah, so like pretty much secondhand stores and then like Amazon. Amazon pretty much has most stuff, but sometimes I like to check like Second and Charles because they have cheaper prices for like Blu-rays and stuff. Do you think that the new Pixar movie in March will flop, the one with the kid in space? That movie actually got moved back. It's not coming out this year. It's coming out in 2025. The only Pixar movie that's coming out this year is Inside Out 2, which is in June. But that one with the space comes out 2025. They moved it back a couple months ago. So, and that was, I think, during when the strikes were still happening. So I don't know if that had something to do with it or they just wanted to revamp it or I don't know what the deal was. But yeah, Inside Out 2 is the only Pixar movie coming out this year. My living room looks like a Blockbuster DVD store. Also, the playroom and spare room have wall stacks as well. It's madness. Dude, you got eventually, like, I can't imagine, like, you having, like a full collection video. Like, that video would be, like, 10 hours long or something. Because I'm curious how many, like, you have, though. Like, you've got to have, I mean, with, like, as much as you buy, like, you probably around what I buy, or maybe even more. I mean, you've got to have probably, I would say, thousands. That's what I would think, but who knows? So, yeah, dude. I actually saw, I think it was on like Twitter or something, where somebody had like literally like you go down in like this basement and literally when you walk in the room they have like racks and racks and racks of movies and like the lighting and everything was just fucking fire. So like people have some really crazy setups, so that's interesting. 2025 is going to be so comic book heavy it's not even funny. I know Megan 2.0 comes out next year. Yeah, I'll be checking that out. That hopefully will be good. I'm I would say that we're probably gonna get a Megan versus Chucky movie at some point. I would think that they're gonna go back into that. I'm so surprised that we don't have like another Jason movie or like another Freddy movie yet, because those are like big franchises. I'm sure they're gonna dive into that eventually. 2550 Blu-rays and DVDs. Okay, so I think I may be a little under you. I think I'm like at about 1,000 last time I counted. I'm not interested in Megan 2.0. Part was pretty bad. Yeah, I remember you didn't like it. I can understand how it wouldn't work for some people. I definitely understand that. No VHS tapes? No. You know what, though? I tell you one thing. You go to Goodwill, they got a lot of those. I went there a few weeks ago, and they had some cool ones. They had like Big Daddy on VHS, Sleepy Hollow on VHS. If I bought those, it would be for display. I wouldn't be to play them. Like, nah, I'm not gonna go backwards with VHS. I do remember though with the VHS players, I used to have that one that does like the tape rewinder where you literally shut it and like it rewinds. I remember that. Those were crazy days. Surprised we never got Freddy versus Michael Myers. Yeah, exactly. Like they're all iconic horror icons. So you would figure like they would do something like that, but I guess apparently not. Or maybe like there's probably, because I think like for some like there's like a crossover with like different distributors. So maybe like it's like with the distributors or something, like trying to work that out. That's probably what it is. We're getting a Crystal Lake TV series. Yeah, I remember. I think you said some news about that or something like that. I'd be interested in checking that out. I do have Peacock, so I borrow someone's Peacock. One of my best friends has Peacock. He's like, here, you can borrow my login. So hopefully they don't crack down, just because once in a while they'll get something like that. One thing I'm interested to know is if you're going to review the Ted series. I think that's like a prequel series. I'm interested to know if you're going to review that. I would think that you probably would. I still have stuff of my own, Junkie. 2025 is going to be a wild year. Comic book movies, GTA 6, and the Return of McDonald's. Oh my God. Return of the McDonald's snack wrap. What, they've already announced that for 2025? Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, GTA 6, that's probably going to be a badass game for sure. I still have, I'm still rocking GTA 5 on Xbox One. I own less than 10 VHS tapes just for display. Yeah, I feel like that's what it is now, just for display, like the ones that you really have the nostalgia for. So I think that's what they really are at this point. I can't believe Scream 7 ended the way it did, but I don't want another kill that's a relative again. Oh, you mean Scream 6? Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how they ended it. Scream 7, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like there's so much crap with all that drama that honestly, like, I don't know. It's just, I think like it's pretty much dead in the water at this point. So it just doesn't seem like there's gonna be. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, that it's not being made. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, well, the director quit, and then all the drama with the bullshit with Melissa Barrera. It's just, I don't know, man. It's ridiculous. I'm reviewing the Ted series. Yeah, I figured you would. That's like right up your alley. I hope it's good. I don't if they. I hope that if they're doing, I hope they're dropping the whole series at once. I don't want to do week to week episodes. So if they drop it all at once, I'll check it out. I think it's only like 6 episodes anyway. To VHS tapes, Scream 7, yeah. Yeah, there's so much crap and BS with all that right now. So who knows what's going to happen with it. I swear Scream 4 and 7 killed that franchise. Scream 4 is my least favorite, definitely out of all of them. But even so, like I don't even think that's like a horrible movie compared to all of them as well. So I don't know. Well, for Scream 4 almost did. And then I guess he's saying yes. He's saying yes to VHS tapes. But yeah, I think that's what he's saying yes to. Yep. Well, we got 9 people in here. I appreciate you guys hanging out and your comments. Say Scream 3 was the weakest. Yeah, a lot of people do not like Scream 3 at all. I didn't mind it. Um, uh, I want to rewatch that because I got it on 4K. Um, so it's definitely like something I want to get to, man. I just have so much stuff I want to get to movie wise. Scream 3 is May. Yeah, I hear a lot of people say it's May. To be honest with you, it seems like it's a lot of people's least favorite, unfortunately. So that's unfortunate. I feel bad for the Scream 3 killer. His crew didn't go anywhere. Yeah, definitely. Scream 3 is my second favorite. I like being controversial. Yeah, I know. Like I think you think you reviewed like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and a few other movies, and I think that you liked them. I remember, but that's fine. Like it's okay to have a different opinion. Like it's cool to challenge the masses, so to speak. So you know, should you change your channel name to controversial opinions that don't what do you call it, that don't appeal to the masses or something? And then he got divorced from Jennifer Gordon, who when she became famous. Hmm. You know, I tell you one movie I watched the other night. What was it? I Know What You Did Last Summer. You talk about what's her face in that movie? Is it Sarah Michelle Gellar? Is that who's in that? I think that's who's in it. Uh, Let me see. I think that's who it is. Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah, dude, she is fire in that movie. I really enjoyed the first one. The second one, not as much, and I haven't seen the third one, so I don't know. I've heard the third one really is bad. Hey Pooh rocked. Yeah, I know you loved it. So you'll be there whenever the second one is around. That steelbook though is fire though. The steelbook they made. Uh, got frozen again. All right, I think I'm good. All right. The controversial critic could be your name. Yes. I know what you did last summer wasn't great. I mean, is it as great as some of the other slasher films? No, but I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Scream 2 is my least favorite. Interesting. Very interesting. Scream 2? Wow. Okay. I don't hear that often. Now that is a different opinion, man. I just love the cinema so much. I have a lot more open mind about films and have a lot more tolerance. That makes sense. Well, you watch a lot of. I think some of the movies that you watch, a lot of them have been on Tubi as well. Um, I'd be interested. I don't know if you've ever watched them. Have you ever watched the YouTuber Cool Dude or any of his movies that he's done? I'm curious if you have, because I know he made like Amityville Karen. I'm curious, like if you'd like something like that. and he has a new movie coming out. I don't know if it's. I think it's probably going to come out on Tubi eventually, but it's coming out on Blu-ray, it's coming out on DVD, and then he does this thing. I don't know if you ever heard of this website, but it's called like SRS or something, and they do Blu-rays, but they do like those. They're called like BLRs, I think, like Blu-ray recordables or something, where it's like a burned disc kind of, but it looks professional, I think. And I think they have the Blu-ray on there. And I think it's called Woods Witch. I don't know if you've heard of it, but the channel name is Cool Duder, and he does he's been in a lot of real small indie stuff. I'm wondering if that would be up your alley at all. I noticed movie critics with Nerd, Geek, or Geek Girl get a lot of subscribers. Interesting. Well, I think also too, if you are, and you guys, and since we're all guys in this room, I think a lot of us on YouTube are dudes, and when we see like a pretty girl reviewing a movie, we go, "Shit!" Like a good-looking woman, let's at her. Like it's kind of like I feel like it's kind of one of those things where like we're so surprised that a girl is reviewing a movie, and if she's good looking, that's like a bonus. So like it seems like it's easier for them to get subscribers, and like majority of us are men, so that makes a difference, I guess. I still can't believe that trash ass movie Squeal is dropping on my birthday. Might need a tipsy Ken Rage review. Movie critics that have Nerd or Geek in their channel name is what I meant. Yeah. I like cheese, but not a big fan of schlock. So I loved Cocaine Bear, but despise Sharknado as example. So I have tolerance, but I'm still picky. Okay. So it depends, I guess, is what you're saying. So like you can like lower budget movies. Did you ever watch Killer Goats, Rusty? I'm interested if you ever watched that. I reviewed it and didn't care for it all that much. But the director, I supported his indie campaign. I got the steal, but I haven't watched it yet. A movie called Fog City. The director's name is Steve Walsh, I believe. But yeah, I definitely want to check that out. I was wondering if you saw Killer Goats. I'm thinking about changing the channel name. I don't know if Dave Show pops anymore. Laugh Out Loud have any ideas? I mean, I dislike the Dave Show. I mean, I think for you, like you have like your own identity of like how you do things, and because you do more than just movie reviews, like you do other stuff as well. You do like wrestling news, game news. Like I think it is like a show, because what is the Dave Show going to talk about this time? You know what I mean? And like you have different topics, so like the name makes sense. You know what I mean? Do you watch Beyond the Trailer? She lost 3K subs in under 30 days. She had 945K and dropped to 942K and hasn't rebounded since. Does she have like a controversial opinion or something? I do follow her, but I don't watch every single video that she does. I like watching her movie math breakdown. And speaking of blocking, and I don't know what the fuck I did, but I'm blocked on her Twitter. I don't know what I said, or if like maybe she accidentally blocked me, or maybe I said something, but I don't remember saying anything to her. So I'm blocked on her Twitter. I don't know why. Fucking weird, but whatever. But yeah, I like her movie math. I've watched some of her reviews, but I don't watch every video she does, or like every news video that she drops. Just because she's a bigger YouTuber, she doesn't need my support as much. No, I heard about it, and what I heard was not my kind of cheese. Nail Gun Massacre, Girlfriend from Hell, Gutter Balls is my kind of bad. Okay, yeah, dude. Killer Goats is like straight up like so. I think all of them are like former Playboy models, and like there's like tons of tits and ass in that movie, and like majority of the movie is like them like exploiting those women, and like the killer is, he has a couple like kills here and there, but it's just a missed opportunity. And then Kane Hodder's in that movie as well. So if you guys don't know who he is, he played a Jason. So um, yeah, I don't know. Tune in next time on the Dave Show. Exactly, you got it. You got it. That's what's up. I like movie math also, but she always throws women under the bus for some reason. I don't know. I've heard like people don't like her because apparently she's like she leans to the left or something like that. I don't really care. Grace lost subs. Yeah. Uh there's a dude that I have on Twitter. He used to be called the Dis Father. I forget what his thing is called now, like physical media something. But he hates Grace. He's always talking shit about her. Um, I don't know. I just don't have the time to hate on a critic like that. I don't know her, so and like I said, I like her movie math, so I enjoy that, and I don't really watch a lot of her reviews. I think Rainbow Fright is the only female horror channel I've subbed to my knowledge. I don't think I know that channel. Grace says she's a feminist, but throws women under the bus every chance she gets. It's very odd. Laugh out loud, Dave. Dude, did you ever see the movie Showgirls? No, I've never seen it. I know of it, but I've never seen it. That's good that it's good though. It's always good to have a masterpiece on hand. Well, I'm about to wrap up this stream. It's been almost 3 hours. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out, listening to my picks, and yeah, just hanging out. I appreciate it. I want to do more streams like this. I definitely would like to invite some of y'all on. If you're interested, let me know. Definitely would like to get y'all on at some point. We'll check with your schedules. Just hit me up. We can do a chat sometime, and we could just do like a hangout like this or something like that, and keep it chill. Go through these last few comments, and then we'll get out of here. Oh my gosh, masterpiece. That's fair, but I just find it shocking, kind of fun because I don't care for stuff anymore. Okay, thanks for chatting. Stay positive. Yeah, we'll do. And Showgirls is free on Amazon. Okay, sweet. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it. I always have a long list of stuff. Dude, can you stay till I gotta work? Am I making your work day go quicker, bro? Hard cheers to all. Gonna rewind, watch your list, see how we sing. Sounds good, man. We'll see. Maybe there'll be some movies you haven't heard of on there. Who knows? Appreciate you hanging out, man, as always, and the support. Appreciate everybody with the support. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'll chat with you guys soon, and I'll have some new videos for you all to check out as well soon. But I'm going to be peacing out. Thanks for hanging out, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace.